As its sacred hallowed ground from Saitama Super Arena outside Tokyo to the Vegas Strip, but that list is not complete without the Shark Tank, the SAP Center in San Jose. And it was in this building where Phil Davis, signing as a marquee free agent back in 2015, after years at the top of the sport, made his Bellator debut. And tonight, man, that comes full circle as he welcomes Yoel Romero, trying to follow in those very same footsteps. Great to see you, Sean Grande, John McCarthy. Man, it's funny how life works, because 6 years ago tomorrow, you and I were in this building for Phil Davis's debut. It was the very first Dynamite. He wins 2 fights that night. He goes on to win the world title the following year. Everything was just peachy. Went as planned. But the 205 division that Yoel Romero enters tonight is a different animal. You got a Grand Prix going on. You got depth. You got veterans. You got undefeated fighters coming up. We know this is Phil Davis's last chance probably to get towards the top of the title chase again. For Yoel Romero, John, this may be his only chance.
You know, this may be his only chance, but you're looking in Yoel Romero at a guy who at the age of 44, he very much reminds me and is reminiscent of Randy Couture, who won a title at the age of 43. And I will tell you that Yoel is probably stronger, probably faster, all of those things. He is a special athlete. You take a look at the way that he just is looking at this weigh-in right here. He is a monster, and he tells us, man, I feel better than ever. I'm faster, I'm stronger, and I feel good, because the one thing he was doing before, Sean, is he was losing so much weight to make that 185 limit. Now he's at 205. That is a 20-pound difference, and you could just tell by his attitude, this is the right choice. This is the right place for him to be.
It's like looking in the mirror for you, right? Seeing the Yoel Romero up on the stage.
We look like brothers in the body, don't we? It's just incredible.
It's identical. All right. It is moving day. It is moving month at 205 with the Grand Prix semifinals coming up next month in Phoenix. So an awful lot going on. Christian Edwards trying to stay undefeated, opening the show on Showtime. Coming up at 10 o'clock Eastern time. You're going to have 2 former world title challengers, Alejandra Lara and Neiman Gracie, both trying to get back in that picture. But man, when Georgi Karakhanyan is on the show, don't blink.
Oh my God, this matchup between him and Sal Rogers is perfect. We're just talking about weight with Yoel Romero, and now let's talk about, these are both guys who were fighting in the featherweight division, now stepping up to the lightweight because they were losing too much weight. They were having too many problems in keeping their energy during the fights, and they said, I can't do this anymore. I need to move up. And both of them are here to say, I want to be the lightweight champion. I'm going to prove that this was the right move for me, and I'm going to prove that I'm better than you.
You know, we all learn so much, right, as we get older. And isn't it funny, after everybody killing themselves cutting weight for years and years, they become older, and they finally go up one weight class, and they all tell us, I've never felt better in my life.
And huge success for so many fighters. I hope that weight cutting, as we've seen in the past, is a thing of the past.
All right, so Yoel Romero and Phil Davis will end it tonight, but we begin, well, where else to begin? But at the very beginning with a long-awaited, and I do mean long-awaited, professional debut. Let's check out the tail of the tape in this long-awaited pro debut for Jesse Delgado.
Well, you just said it right there. Pro debut, 1-1. Both are young fighters, but this should be a very interesting contest for this pro debutee in Jesse Delgado.
A night that ends in San Jose with the long-awaited Bellator debut of Yoel Romero begins, as always, with Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Bellator MMA's return to the SAP Center here in San Jose, California, as we get set now to kick off the prelims tonight here at Bellator 266 with 3 5-minute rounds at a contract weight of 130 pounds. And now, first introducing the blue corner at 5'7", weighing in 130 pounds even. As a professional, he's 1-1. He fights out of Fresno, California, Joshua, the real deal, Dillon. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner at 5'6", weighing in 129.5 pounds. Tonight, he makes his professional MMA debut. He fights out of Gilroy, California, Jesse Delgado. In charge of the action, your referee, Mike Beltran.
A lot of butterflies in there right now.
For
both. All right, gentlemen, first round. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Hell, let's go.
Talk about the wrestling pedigree. You see a close-up shot of those ears. You probably don't need that described.
Well, a lot of people would say this is a throwback fight because in Joshua, you're talking about a guy that likes to stand up and fight. And right here, Jesse just taking the fight to the ground. He's the grappler, but he also is very good on his feet. So he's not a guy that is not accustomed to throwing his hands and being successful.
Is that issue number one for an elite level wrestler who by definition has spent so much time on that? What is step number one in making that transition?
You know, the step number one is you've got to say, I cannot think of just being the wrestler. I've got to be a full MMA fighter. I've got to embrace every bit of it. I've got to be able to do the stand-up. I've got to be able to defend against the submissions, and I have to be able to apply those submissions on top of the wrestling skill that I possess.
In addition to the collegiate accomplishments, a high school legend in Gilroy. You heard the ovation. Obviously, a big cheering section with him for this debut. He's been coaching at Daniel Cormier's academy.
He's got a ton of kids that are under his tutelage, and you're talking about being able to learn from one of the very best. That's a great opportunity for any young kid.
Skills, sportsmanship, how to carry yourself, and it's also my understanding that those kids learn some interesting language at DC's place.
I'm sure they do. You know, right now you're looking at what Joshua Dillon's doing. He's trying to, create some space here. This is what makes wrestlers so difficult to fight, is their base and balance is so strong. You do the right things, you create frames, you try to off-balance them, and all of a sudden they're just right back down heavy on you and landing big shots. Nice step over, almost got out, wasn't able to get through that guard, still in full guard.
I mean, the first thing you see, anybody can see the high hips of Delgado, how strong he is in the stance.
Creating a lot of downward pressure onto Joshua. The shots to the body here, that's just to try to open up the guard, get him to move a little bit, just like you're seeing now. That's an open guard. He's trying to use those hips, get himself into a position where he can get out. And again, right here, Delgado needs to think. Good job of keeping his hips forward, his chin back.
Oh, he took a good shot. You saw he was grabbing the fence, which you can't do. We're going to see a couple of pro debuts here coming up, and it's so fascinating to see everything you've studied. Anyone who's taken a big test on the bright lights, you feel like you got it walking in there, and then, wait a minute.
Well, you said it exactly right. This is a big test, and this is a big audition. You got to figure you've got Scott Coker sitting here watching you saying, let's see what this kid's got. You go out and you impress him, guess what he's going to do? He's going to sign you to a contract. This is your audition. You want to go out there and put it all out. Don't leave anything, in the tank. Do everything you can to show him what you can do in that cage.
And for Joshua Dillon, it's just, think about this opportunity for him, because there are so many eyes on Jesse Delgado that you wouldn't normally have facing the guy in his pro debut.
Exactly, and you look, and a lot of people will say that, well, man, that's a tough fight for you. It's a pro debut. If you're going to get this guy, this is the time to get him, and this is the time for you to impress that president and Scott Coker.
Aaron Pico. I mean, it happens.
It does, absolutely. And these are the things. This sport it's called a shoot for a reason. Anybody can win.
That's one of the things in Bellator by getting to see so many of the elite guys who are going to become elite fighters. Watching them in fights you wouldn't have seen in a previous generation, where they're learning their craft in fight 3 and 4 and 5 of their career.
Well, the one thing I'll give Bellator is they do a fantastic job of building young fighters. Let's just go right to the number one you can name is featherweight champion now, AJ McKee. His very first professional fight was in Bellator. He's now, 18, 19-0, all of them in Bellator, but they built him from the beginning. Nice heavy shots by Jesse Delgado. Those are the ones that start to break you down.
Again, Dillon grabbing the fence and not even trying to get up, leaving himself open to these shots. And as far as an opening round for a pro debut, doesn't get much cleaner than that for Jesse Delgado.
breathe and relax. Right here. Sit back right here. Sit back and relax. Nice work. Good head positioning. We could step over to half guard. Let's step over to half guard.
Good head position, good fracture. You need to be more active there. He's comfortable there, right? By the end, he starts to strike more, he starts moving. I need him to worry about that position. Make him work. He's tired of it, okay? Perfect. Okay, find your time. Take down.
Agree with that? Step over to half guard?
Absolutely.
So he was there.
You know, but this is his first fight.
Yeah.
So to sit there and, you know, I could have said things about, you know, he needs to, you know, push that, step over that.
Hey, if we get him against the cage,
you can't expect too much right now. There's so much going on in his head. He's, you know, in this now in the second round. Now start breaking things down and tell him exactly where he needs to improve his positioning and where he can do more damage.
Is it better in the pro debut if you were the coach? You're coaching to sometimes maybe lay back a little during a round and not yell the things that are popping into your head.
Especially when your fighter is actually doing well.
Yes, right.
Don't overload him.
Move your direction.
All right, gentlemen.
You guys do that with Josh the first time he was on the desk?
No, you overload him all the time.
We're coming out a little more aggressive. Leg kick, anything to throw Jesse Delgado off balance. Jesse Delgado's shot got the takedown about 20 seconds into round one.
Dillon needs to, you know, that little ring that you see, he's backing himself up towards the cage way too much. He's a step forward. See, this is where
it is.
He's waiting for that to happen, and it's gonna happen if you're gonna sit there and wait for it.
Long learned the difference between knowing what's going to happen and being able to stop it.
This is true. Now we'll see if Jesse's able to take what his coaches gave him for information and now actually put it into practice here in the second round.
It's so early in the round, plenty of time to do it.
One of the things, look at what Jesse's doing, head positioning, look how heavy he is, driving his head into the forehead area, creating a problem just with where Joshua's head is able to be that weak. When your head's to the side, you become a weaker fighter.
Jim Heffernan, the legendary wrestling coach in Illinois, recruited him, picked him up at the airport. His life changed as he embarked on that career. And Jim Heffernan just retired. And his replacement, Mike Poeta, just hired Ed Ruth to be his assistant. That's how small the world is at the University of Illinois.
You know, and talk about a guy that, you know, incredible wrestling credentials, unbelievable in being able to get other guys up to a certain level. Ed Ruth is going to be a fantastic assistant coach for him.
Keep his head up against the cage. Work to finish, gentlemen. Let's go. Move your position. Big elbow. Big elbow. Yes, again. You got again. You got again. Big elbow. Big elbow. Yes, again. There it is.
Guard is a lot more closed here in round two for Dillon than it was in round one.
Which is telling you he's starting to have a little bit more in the, he's getting tired, a little bit weaker, can't frame out in the same fashion as he was before. All this pressure is starting to get to him. That was a nice heavy elbow by Jesse.
That's a nice start. You're a young fighter in your third pro fight. Try finding a partner to train with who's a two-time national champion. They don't. It's hard to find them on Craigslist.
Yes, it is. That is not easy. You can put out all the ads you want. You're not going to find them.
Hey, turn him again. Turn his head this way.
Smart. You can hear the coach telling him turn his head this way. What he's trying to do is put his head into the cage.
Left hook. Left hook.
There's the opportunity. Yeah,
That's where he's trying to stop it.
Yep.
But again, look at where his left arm is, and if he has to do that right, he can block that leg, put pressure down, step over it, close down on it, and he's going to pass. Now by going for the Kimura, Joshua Dillon has let him pass in this situation.
Hail Mary attempt here.
We'll see if Jesse's smart enough, he can also free up that right leg and continue all around, and will take all the pressure away from any type of Kimura.
Step over a little bit. Stay heavy on
He's
that
stepping
side.
over. That's what you hear his coach is talking about.
Head in his armpit.
He steps over. Now he can just walk around the head.
Big shots. Let's chase it.
Balance to stay here.
He's going into a seatbelt position right now just to hold himself right there. You see Joshua trying to just shake him off. He needs to keep doing that. Get him heavy on the weight forward.
Really high. Delgado is.
Delgado could do a lot of things. He can reach back, go for a Suloev stretch here off of the leg since it's right there for him. But at this point in his career, I don't think he even knows what that is.
What are the odds that he knows what that is? Unless you want to yell it out.
Nice job.
Yep.
Now we'll see what Delgado does. Wrestlers do not like being on their back. Let's see if he scrambles to get himself back up. And this is the problem when you are dealing with a guy who is an outstanding wrestler. It's that ability to scramble out and continue on until you get your reversal, get yourself in the position you want. Right now, a lot of people are going to look at that. They think there's a guillotine. That is not going to work from the position that he's in.
Explain why.
He's got the wrong angle on the hold, and his legs are not in a position for him to create the power and leverage he needs to make that choke work.
Be interesting to see if there's another progression that he has offered in between rounds.
Everything's nice. I need you to be more. When you start to use your elbow, that's when he's spinning. That's when he starts using his energy, right? You need him on that mode.
Once we get that takedown, let's go to half guard. We're gonna half guard. Yeah, just kind of find your way to half guard. So then we start the end route. Let's get to mount. All right. So we get down. Let's start passing the knee. Use the can openers really well, but start passing the knee to get to half guard.
Okay, no.
Good, man. Last round, he's going to come out a little bit wild. He's going to come out wild, so be ready. Same thing, Jesse.
When, my favorite part of that minute of coaching, when we get the takedown, not if we get the, when we get the takedown, here's what happens next.
Confidence is key.
Yeah, yeah. That's more like, that's reality as opposed to confidence.
All right, gentlemen.
7 years since he won his second national championship.
You ready to fight? Hell, go.
Said now or never at age 29.
Let's go. Another shot coming. That's all he has. All he has is that shot. Come on, Jesse. Bring him over there.
Dillon hit an early leg kick in round 2. Does it again in round 3. And there it is. There's a shot, and there's 2.
That's just timing. He was waiting for that extension by Joshua Dillon to extend forward that punch, changes levels right into the legs, brings him right down. I think Jesse would be best right now doing his work. Don't drive him towards the cage. Make it to where you can have all that room to pass to either side. You can work to either side.
Off the back of the head there, Jesse.
Step over. When you get weak, you can get out and go half guard. Get up.
What are you hoping for? If you're Joshua Dillon right now, what mistake are you hoping for from a quote-unquote rookie?
Well, he's making a mistake right now. When you take a look at where his arms are at, see that his hands are to the ground. You do not want your hands on the ground. I don't think that Joshua is feeling that or seeing that he can actually open up that guard, try to switch his hips, take one of those arms. But right now, Jesse's in such a position as far as he's feeling so heavy on top of Dillon that Dillon's not even, I think, looking at that submission opportunity.
Where do you want his hands?
He wants his hands on his opponent. Every time that your hands go to that ground, now they're in a position they can be attacked. When they're on the opponent, it's much more difficult for you to attack that submission. See how his left arm was under the head, now his right arm under the head. It's got to be very careful. You start to get into someone who is really good at their submission game, they're going to start to attack you with that.
Again, inching back to where most of this fight has been, which is up against the fence.
Right now, Jesse has all the opportunity in the world to pass that guard, especially going towards his left side. The ability is there, it's just does he feel it? Nice job by Joshua. Putting the feet on the hip, trying to create that space. Jesse just crushed it down.
Isn't giving him nearly as many opportunities to pass, though, in round 3. Until now.
That's a beautiful call.
Until now.
Beautiful call.
That's it. Stay happy now. Drive your head left side. Come on, left side.
And one thing that wrestlers are very good with, the position of half guard is that's a wrestling position. They can control the body, they can land punches, they can land elbows. Wrestlers love the half guard. But you did hear his corner talk about half guard, then I want you moving towards mount. So we'll see if he actually follows that instruction.
Elbows, elbows. Nice. Keep working right there. Stay there. Elbows. That's the hip position.
Getting guards open.
Ryan.
Move.
Half guard, Jesse. Half guard, Jesse. Back in the half guard.
He's got mount.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want half guard from there. Mount was there, now he gives his back.
Now right there made a mistake. He had the ability to get his hooks inside. It was open for him, but went back to his wrestling roots and getting his hips back with heavy pressure.
Which, in the fog of war, you're going to go back to what you know.
Go back to what you've been trained to do. He's got the ability to create a crucifix here. It's being a little bit difficult for him to get to as far as where the fence is. That's where he'd want to bring his opponent.
Again, odds you spent any time on that.
A lot of weight on Joshua Dillon right now. He's working actually to get a takedown on Jesse Delgado. Not exactly the thing you would think he would be working hard for. Would have been better for him to get out and away and possibly get to that, back to that stand-up.
Dillon left his head exposed for a split second. He got his bell rung.
Let's go. Stay heavy on top.
Stay heavy on top is not advice that Jesse Delgado has needed.
Well, again, and in this situation, what we talk about is high head wins the position, and you can see that Joshua wasn't able to get his head high.
What happens when a two-time national champion makes his MMA debut? He goes to what he knows, and he dominates with it.
That was a good, tough, pro debut fight. You got 3 good rounds in. You learned a lot from it. He's going to go back. He's going to see what he did well, where he could have done better.
Every round started the same way in the first 20 to 40 seconds for Jesse Delgado.
Just watch, see that level change right there. You saw the drop of the level, the drive in, nice and low, very difficult to stop someone that has that type of entry. Very, very quick, very strong in his positioning. Again, right through every time.
And the numbers will be as lopsided as the 15 minutes were.
Look at those fight stats, 59 strikes landed to 6, but it's those 3 to 0.
All came in the first 30 seconds of each round, and all resulted in Jesse Delgado having dominant position for the rest of each round.
You gotta feel pretty good. You go through a fight and you basically got hit 8 times, we'll say.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Pretty close to pitching a shutout.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first, Michael Bell, scores it 30-27. Ron McCarthy, 30-27. And George Allen, 30-27. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Jesse Delgado.
Let's check out the tail of the tape. We don't see a lot of 125ers in Bellator.
Very simply put, again, another pro debut against John Adams, who is 0-1-1, but I have watched John Adams fight numerous times. I've seen both of those fights. He is a scrapper, a gamer, a guy that never quits. This should be fun.
And we welcome those tonight tuning in live to the prelims on YouTube at Bellator MMA and Showtime Sports as we continue on now in the flyweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner. At 5'7", weighing in 125.4 pounds. His professional record early on, 0-1 with 1 draw. He fights out of San Jose, California, John Superhero Adams. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner at 5'5", weighing in 125.3 pounds. As a professional tonight, he's making his debut. He fights out of San Jose, California, Edwin de los Santos. In charge, your referee, Jason Herzog.
First round, fight, are you ready? Fight, are you ready? Fight!
I can't imagine how many pro debuts you have refereed, but is there a common thread? Can you almost tell when a guy's in there for the first time?
Absolutely. You know, it is the pressure that's put on him, and that moment that you look and you go, hey, this is now, it counts, because all those fights, you can have a lot of amateur fights and then you can have a great record, but it doesn't matter, it all goes away. But now they all count, and these guys, they feel the pressure, and you'll see guys work their way through that pressure, and that's where you go, this guy's, he's gonna make it, he's gonna be good.
You talked about seeing John Adams because both of his fights have been under the Bellator banner. When you're seeing a fighter for the first time, what is the very first thing you are looking at or looking for?
The first thing I want to see is I want to see that they are relaxed in what they're doing. They're not tight. They're going to sit there and they don't go crazy. If they get hit, they're not sitting there having to hit their opponent back right away. They just are relaxed and saying it's okay. They go about doing things in their style. Just right now, like what you're seeing out of Edwin de los Santos, he's a stand-up fighter for the most part. He's got some ground. He's got a blue belt in BJJ, but he likes to fight in the stand-up. That's where he started in the martial arts. And look what he's doing. He's the one controlling the location. It's his pro debut, but he's the one controlling where this fight is at and how it's being fought. So that's saying a lot about his experience from the amateurs.
You gotta set it up. You gotta touch first, Edwin.
Edwin's doing it. One thing, if you're watching, watch when Edwin's throwing those kicks. His hands are definitely coming down. And if John Adams sees him do that, he take advantage of that mistake.
Reacts to the first good shot.
John Adams needs to start countering. When you cannot sit there and be the punching bag. You have got to say, if he's going to try to hit me, when he comes at me, I'm going to make him pay for it.
See the bottom of the left leg of John Adams already turning red.
Clean right hand by Edwin.
Yeah, he's not moving as well. There's a lot to think about here. Allen got through.
Oh, the right hand got through. John Adams did land a nice right hand, did not affect Edwin at all.
Exactly what you just talked about. Like, all right, he got one. I'm fine.
Punch it and go, Edwin. I need four straight punches. Yes,
That came in low.
You good? All right. Watch your low kicks.
Hey, Edwin, let's touch first and then follow.
Start working the takedown, Jonathan.
Edwin switches stance back and forth, left and right, southpaw to orthodox, just almost at will. So that's sometimes will really cause a guy a lot of problems because they can't figure out that angle to attack their opponent with.
De los Santos, 27 years old.
Where's my body shot, Edwin? Left body, left kick.
This discussion with a couple of people this week, which is how do you know it's time? When is it time to have that first professional fight? Because you see it at 23, you see it at 29, you see it after 2 amateur fights, you see it after 12 amateur fights. And obviously every case is different, but what is the common thread that says, all right, get out of the nest, let's go?
You know, that was a nice body shot.
Yeah, he's landed these from the beginning. John Adams in big, big trouble, and it's over. That was as veteran a performance as you're going to see from a fighter in his pro debut.
Take a look at this kick. Watch where it lands, right under the arm and the elbow. That liver kick, that drops John Adams down. That hurts him. He is in trouble at this point. Watch the, right there, that shot, you can tell it hurts him. You can see he can't breathe at that moment. Now it's a matter of, does he survive? He doesn't do enough to stop what's going on. Jason Herzog sees enough and ends the fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, referee Jason Herzog steps in, waves off the contest due to strikes. Official time, 3 minutes, 29 seconds into round number 1. The winner by TKO, Edwin de los Santos.
DeAnna Bennett meets Alejandra Lara in a women's flyweight fight tonight as the Californian known as Vitamin D gets her dream home fight against the all-action Colombian inside the stentorian atmosphere inside the Shark Tank. Number 5 ranked flyweight Lara was unhappy with her performance last time out against Kana Watanabe and has insisted that going into this bout at 27 years old and with 13 fights on her resume, she must take ownership of her career, that she's no longer a novice and will aim to be fast, elusive and decisive tonight in both attack and indeed defence. For Bennett, coming in off a loss to the formidable Liz Carmouche, it will be about imposing her physicality and drawing the wild brawler out of Lara to smother her foe and live up to her gym reputation as Queen Kong. Take it away, ladies. We cannot wait.
As soon as we check out the tail of the tape.
Tail of the tape, real simple. Look at that. You were just talking about it. Helen has been gone for a while at 34 years of age, coming back into his second realm of MMA. We're going to see how he does against the 27-year-old Shane Keefe.
It was worth the wait to get to Michael C. Williams.
Always is.
Tonight here at the Bellator 266 prelims will go to the welterweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner at 6'1", weighing in 169.1 pounds. His professional record 1-0. He fights out of San Jose, California, Shane Keefe. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner at 6'2", weighing in 171 pounds even. As a professional, early on, he's 0-2. He fights out of San Francisco, California, Rhalan Gracie. And your referee, in charge, Blake Bryce.
You ready? Ready, sir? Fight!
Now in fairness, those 2 losses, 2006, 2007. Gracie was 20 years old. I don't think any of us would want to be judged in our mid-30s by things we did when we were 20. But
I'm not even going there.
that's the way it goes. Now, what's interesting about Shane Keefe's win was a 68-second head kick TKO win. But the fight he won was against the state no-gi jiu-jitsu champion.
Shane Keefe knows exactly what he's getting into. He understands what the skill set of Helen Gracie is. He believes that his stand-up can keep this fight on the feet with movement, a good stiff jab, sometimes heavy shots to the body, and make it to where Helen starts to take really bad shots at the takedown, starts to overextend, and you can catch him and knock him out.
30 years ago saying, well, I'm just going to keep Gracie on his feet. How many hundreds of guys have said that?
Quite a few. That's a heavy leg kick, solid, not blocked at all in any way by Gracie.
That's got through.
Again, this is what he's talking about. Nice straight jab, heavy right hand, hit him with a hook. We'll see if he starts getting into the combinations. Yep. Oh, he's in trouble.
He's in big trouble. That is not the way he wanted it on the ground. He's turned his back here.
Not good at all.
Blake Bryce taking a look at this.
Very nice job by Shane Keefe. He was remained calm. Even had his glove being held on too. Knows that he can hurt his opponent. Now he's just looking for that opportunity to make it happen again.
He's desperate to get him off his feet.
Take it back down the cage.
Can't grab him. That's but he's a good use of it to prevent him going down.
And then right there, that's something he stopped that takedown.
Look at this. Well, he saw that coming. Wrapped up that right leg of Gracie.
No matter how this ends up, Rhalan Gracie is happy where he's at right now. What you're looking at, basically Shane Keefe's got a cradle position right now.
Almost a defensive.
Well, yeah, he's using it in a defensive fashion, but that cradle is going to end up being pushed to the side. You got to be very careful how long you're going to hold on to it.
Now into the guard. You see the time remaining in the round. Saul and Gracie use this time to get his head together or to do work.
And that's the real question, exactly what you're saying, because when you've been bombed and you've been getting hit, you get to this position, it's just like, just give me a second. Let me just collect myself. And the time passes by, you haven't done anything, and your opponent all of a sudden gets out of the position. He needs to attack. He needs to make it to where Shane Keefe is having to defend.
Rose guard, it almost looked like he wanted to go rubber guard when he first got down there.
Well, he was looking towards it. He was bringing it up like he was looking towards getting into an omoplata position to change and reverse the position. Shane's making a mistake. Look at where that left arm is at. It's on the ground underneath the back of Gracie. He needs to be very careful where he's putting his hands.
Where do you want it?
Again, I want those up on the bicep, on the shoulder area. Do not allow your hands to rest on the floor. They're doing nothing for you there. Now going to mission control. He could take that, bring that all the way down. He didn't do it, but a lot of things to attack. He can go for the go-go plata. He can go for that omoplata. Right here, he's in a perfect opportunity to swing into an omoplata, switch the position, or go for the submission.
Shane Keefe trying to stay safe. A tale of 2 rounds here in the first 5 minutes. Shane Keefe dominating on the feet. Will Gracie do enough here in the final 2 minutes on the ground to get it back? Probably not.
No, he's not going to get it back. He was in trouble. The fight actually ending, where right now Keefe has not had that kind of situation. Nothing more than a high guard that you saw there.
This is the damage Shane Keefe did early.
Check out the left hook. That hits him right on the edge of that jawline, the ear. That shook him up, and then he starts to get hit with some big shots here. Nice uppercut. Doesn't land flush, but it does damage. Right hand then touches him. You see Gracie now diving for takedowns. Keefe doing a good job with his feet, moving his feet, keeping himself at a distance where he can land with power.
Do those last 2 minutes move a potential 10-8 situation into a 10-9?
Absolutely it does. It brought it back. That ground work, although he wasn't able to lock anything up, it made it to the point where it slowed the fight down, and he was able to show the judges, you know what, that wasn't bad enough to keep me from actually having an advantage in this position. I think it went to a 10-9. Biggest problem for Rhalan Gracie right now is as simple. This thing starts every round on the feet. He's got to figure out a way to get this back onto the mat. He's telegraphing that right hand. That was telegraphed big time. He tries to throw it again in that fashion. You're going to see Keefe landing with a beautiful left hook.
Keefe not nearly as aggressive coming out here in round 2.
Yeah, Keefe is looking to counter. He's looking for, you saw what Gracie threw out the first time. He wants him to throw that again so he can counter it, but you can wait too long. Just get after doing what you were successful with in the beginning of this fight.
Can't counter a shot that's not coming.
Exactly.
There is, obviously, there is a lack of velocity in the stand-up of Conor Gracie on these shots. You can really see them coming. Again, that's the opposite difference between being 34 and being 20. After an eventful round one, neither wants to get caught in the other's game here in round two.
Both guys really slowing this down. Rhalan looking for an opportunity to possibly get into a clinch position. And you see that Keefe is just waiting. He's waiting too long to try to throw a counter strike that he believes he can land a little bit.
Keefe background is wrestling. He was wrestling from the time he was 9 years old. Wrestled in junior college. His son broke a cradle in the first round when the fight went to the ground.
Keefe should continue to throw that kick. Every time he's thrown that kick, he has landed it solid.
People say, oh, leg kick, no big deal. Well, first of all, it hurts, and it changes up the guy getting hit. I've seen him get less patient.
Not only less patient, it makes it to where you don't have the strength in that leg to accomplish the things that you need to do to be successful in the fight. It takes away your balance, it takes away your strength.
The one I always remember, the one that sticks out to me, was Lima getting the title back from Koreshkov. He kept hitting him with those leg kicks, and Koreshkov just got impatient. He couldn't do what he wanted to, and he opened himself up. He get knocked out.
When you have someone that's landing a good leg kick, in the back of your mind, you're telling yourself, I can't let that happen. I can't let that happen again. And the more it happens, the more you start to get concerned and you start taking chances. That's when your opponent can take that opportunity to put you away in the fight.
Let's work, boys. Let's go.
Were there all those stats that Jen was running and all those hundreds of fights, 1,000 rounds that Gracie's have fought, how many of them have been entirely on the feet?
When it is, they're not happy with the results. This is the kind of round, though, if you're Shane Keefe, you're winning this round barely, but it could change with one shot. And so why are you going to sit there and play that edge game? Just continue to go to his body, pick him apart, multiple shots. He's trying right now to land 1, 2, throwing one low leg kick. Not enough volume, and definitely not enough in combination.
First 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes of this fight could not have gone better for Shane Keefe. Wow.
And again, look at what happens. Even though that was semi-blocked, it still landed. And look at what happened with Gracie, all of a sudden going back immediately. Here's that kick near the end of the round. Look at it, comes up under the arm, does hit the back of the head a little bit, but he felt it. Not that it hurt him, but he felt it, and that's what made him move away, and that's what Shane Keefe needs to do and go after in this third round. In my opinion, Shane Keefe basically took off that second round. It's not that he didn't lose it, he won the round, but he should have a lot of energy, and he should be going after Rhalan Gracie in this round.
Shane Keefe has a fan living his best life. That I can tell you.
Well, he won't be talking very loud by the end of this.
No. Now, Shane Keefe starts out a little stronger. Snap the leg kick.
Ron Kessler from AKA is in the corner of Shane Keefe. Outstanding coach. He was a good competitor when he was fighting in MMA. You know, I'm sure, I didn't get to hear what he said, but I'm sure he told him, look, I need more out of you. I need more output. I need you to go after him. He doesn't have any power in his hand. He can't hurt you. Let's go. See, right there, you're watching how Gracie, when he throws the kick, but he's off balance.
His offense is tentative, and it's slow in developing, but you're right. There's no confidence that comes with it.
Exactly.
But getting it to the ground is like changing from black and white to color in the Wizard of Oz.
Yes,
everything changes.
It's all the difference in the world. I like the fact that how Gracie's going after, trying to use the jab. He's trying to come forward.
Wanted more output, you got a little more output from Shane Keefe.
Shane Keefe should, every time that he throws his hands, he should be hiding those kicks behind his hands. They're going to land, they're going to cause damage. He just needs to start committing to them. Every time he throws his hands, look at the reaction of Howard Gracie. He gets him to actually bring his hands either up towards his body. Now he's letting Howard Gracie start to have a little bit of momentum in this fight, and they can change fast.
Rear left pushed him back. Howard Gracie's starting to fight like a guy who's down 2 rounds to none and has got 2.5 minutes left.
Well, the one thing that Howard Gracie has really found, he's found that jab, and he sees that it's working for him. Nice right hand by Keefe.
Jab finds a home, overhand right. Tell you what,
He's eating him up with the jab. Most basic punch there is. It's working for him.
Howard Gracie is winning this round on the feet.
No doubt about it. And it's output. Look at the output. Keefe's got a cut over his left eye.
Now you go back and you wonder about the lack of output in round 2 from Shane Keefe.
Well, for Shane Keefe or Howard Gracie, because if he ends up losing this fight,
It's gonna be round 2.
it's going to be round 2, and it's all on you. You have the ability to go. Everything you're seeing him do right here, stepping on the gas, going after him, making him deal with an offensive output.
Where was this the first 10, 12 minutes?
Exactly.
Final minute of fight that has entertained us in ways we could not have imagined. Another strong shot. Again, as you said, all set up by the jab. Everything's been set up by the jab.
Jab's working to perfection for him.
Smile on the face of Shane Keefe as Gracie misses badly. Go home overhand right. Strong finish. Keefe trying to finish like he started. This one got interesting.
Some of the action here. Here's that jab, and then the right hand coming in. Back to the jab. Right hand again. That was a nice right hand by Keefe. Didn't really hurt him that bad, but landed cleanly. And Gracie again going after the left and then right, overhand right. The jab was the big difference in this round. Gracie was able to utilize that jab and make it to where Keefe had problems with it and set everything up for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. All three, Sean Dallas Hall, Wade Vera, and Jason Herzog. Seed exactly the same, 29-28. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Shane Keefe. For those joining us tonight, late night in the UK on BBC iPlayer, we welcome you inside the SAP Center as we go now to a contract weight fight at 175 pounds set. For 3 5-minute rounds, introducing the blue corner at 6'4", weighing in 175 pounds even. His professional record 2-2. He fights out of Fresno, California, Albert Big Hand Gonzales. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in the same 175 pounds as a professional. 5 wins, 3 losses from San Francisco, California, Abraham Vaesau. In charge, your referee, Jason Herzog.
Fans come out to watch fights and buy a ticket. This is the kind of fight they buy a ticket to see.
Absolutely. You got one guy that's got huge power, one guy that's got huge heart. Which one's going to take the win? Nice long rangy kick by Albert.
That's kickboxing has been his background. That was his entry, good first shot by Vaesau.
That right hand landed clean. You can see it stunned Albert Gonzales already. He felt it. Nice job in fighting it off, but Vaesau just too powerful, too strong. See if Albert Gonzales can work his way back to his feet here.
Wow. Oh, the uppercut.
That was a lead hand uppercut too, something you don't see a lot of guys do.
Vaesau 6'3". Vaesau at 5'11", if you were wondering.
This fight is turning into exactly what we had talked about, the power of Vaesau. Can Albert work his way through it? Because if there's one thing we know about Gonzales, he is going to be nonstop. He's going to come forward, he's going to pressure you, he's going to try to wear you out and use cardio as a weapon.
Gonzales using the kickboxing with his huge reach advantage. You see the distance it creates.
Oh, big shot. Look at those wobbly legs.
Legs are in big trouble. Gonzales in big trouble.
This is where we said Vaesau, big power.
Down he goes.
Trouble.
And we're done.
But Vaesau hits him with Abraham, lands that clean left right to the temple. You see the legs, watch the legs of Gonzales. They are all over the place. Brings the knee up into the body, uppercut, misses, but that right hand over the top lands again. and he starts to go after him. Jason has seen enough.
You saw he's just instinctively worried about his mouthpiece as opposed to defending himself.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, referee Jason Herzog steps in, waves off the contest due to strikes. Official time, 2 minutes, 17 seconds into round number 1. The winner by knockout, Abraham Vaesau.
Yoel Romero and Phil Davis meet tonight in a main event pitching two light heavyweights with vast experience and top-level wrestling, both with so much to gain from victory. Olympic silver medalist Romero makes his belated Bellator debut, knowing that a triumph here tonight will likely propel the famous Cuban into a debate for an early 2022 title shot. He'll be looking to use his hulking presence to control the tempo of the fight and explode in bursts with those hands of stone. Davis, meanwhile, seeks to rebound from a unanimous decision defeat to incumbent champion Vadim Nemkov and maintain his position high in the divisional ladder. Will it be another W for Mr. Wonderful by will and skill? Or can the soldier of God march onto the main stage now and lie in wait for the winner of the World Light Heavyweight Grand Prix? We are set for an epic encounter between two seasoned veterans, and we cannot wait.
And a pair of pro debuts.
Look at it all says it right there. They're both young. The guys, both of these guys actually switched opponents because their opponents didn't do something right, didn't make weight. These guys said, we want to fight. They matched them up, pro debut. This should be fun.
To Michael C. Williams.
From San Jose, California, the Bellator 266 prelims roll on as we go now to the bantamweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing the blue corner at 5'11", weighing in 135.9 pounds, making his professional debut. He fights out of San Jose, California, Socrates Hernandez. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner at 5'7", weighing in 135.4 pounds. He too, tonight, makes his professional debut fighting out of Vallejo, California, Bobby the Humble Warrior Seronio. In charge of the action, your referee, Frank Trigg.
Good. Yeah, you got a guy, 2 pro debuts, and the referee's got 30 professional.
Yeah, how about that? Speaking of memorable, iconic moments inside the cage.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
So Kaji Kembo created it in Hawaii in the 40s. In the World War II era, when it was thought to be very important to be able to defend yourself. Shot buckles the knees of Socrates Hernandez. He's in trouble right away. Seronio
needs to settle down a little bit.
Those are wild shots, but a couple of them landed. Look at Seronio's eyes right now in the pro debut. They can't be any wider. The human body won't allow it. Big shot, big takedown.
That's the way to control the fight. That's the way to settle yourself down. Nice ground and pound attack by Seronio. He's putting himself in a place where he can hurt his opponent and not be hurt. This is called being very smart.
He's got a real opportunity here to get in. Socrates Hernandez just lost his mouthpiece, looked like.
Oh, still there.
He's trying to get it back in. It's a good thing because he is taking big shots here.
Socrates has, the problem he's got is his right arm was being controlled.
And a suplex on top.
Bringing it right back down to the ground. Beautiful job by Seronio.
Well, the first 2 professional minutes for Bobby Seronio have been spectacular. I'm not sure how many more we're going to get to see.
Seronio just catching his breath a little bit. He's had a lot of output.
How many pro debuts do you have chanting your name?
Not bad. Both guys have a lot of fans here right now. That was a good left hand. Big, heavy shots. I love the posture that I'm seeing right now out of Bobby. Socrates is hanging tough, but he has taken a lot of damage in this round.
Right knee to the body. Right knee to the body.
Asking you shall receive. Actually, asking Socrates Hernandez will receive it.
There you go. It's more like your wishes might command. Look how he's controlling that arm. That's caused Socrates a lot of problems in this fight so far. He hasn't been able to defend on that side. Bobby needs to settle his hips back down. Look towards getting his hooks in.
Subtle jump, but I love the fact that he knew he didn't have that and he backed off it.
Exactly. And now he's in a position he knows that he has no control of the lower body of Socrates Hernandez, so he needs to be very aware of when he can slip that hook in.
And he's trying, there it is.
Yep.
Slides right into mouth.
Nice job by Socrates Hernandez, showing a lot of composure, knowing I'm going to get hit, but I need to push his hips back so I can get myself out of this position.
When you consider the amount of damage he has already taken, and he's still thinking through the fight that way, that's really impressive. But this has been dominant. Hernandez just trying to roll with it, get through these final 40 seconds.
You can see that in his Bobby is tired from his output, and Socrates is exhausted from being pounded on.
As if there wasn't enough adrenaline dump anyway in a double pro debut.
Absolutely. Again, love the posture, how he's great posture, comes up, heavy shots coming down. You can't ask for anything more right now from Bobby.
The first 5 professional minutes for Bobby Seronio could not have gone better.
That right hand, then the left hook over the top. You can see it stunned him big. Here was that suplex coming down, brings him right over. Beautiful job of placing him back where he was dominant onto the ground, and then the ground and pound. Look at the posture. This is what we talk about. This is not little shots. When we talk about hitting someone with a shot on the ground, big knee shot, big punches, everything he's throwing has power, impact, and is doing damage.
10-8.
That's a 10-8 round.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Ready?
Eyes remain wide and the face remains untouched. So MVP look here at the start of round 2.
When you get a guy that's fighting from that karate style stance, using that very bladed, and they're going to throw side kicks, you want to think about slipping that leg to the side and then coming forward to attack your opponent in the counter.
2 guys taking their very first step into 135 in Bellator, which got, believe it or not, even deeper this week. Georgi, the former champion, added to the Raw. I mean, it's getting absurd now at bantamweight.
Oh my God.
Screaming for a Grand Prix.
Loving it.
And there is the second trip to Suplex City.
Riding his hips right up in the mount. Socrates, again, he's taking a lot of damage. You can see it starting to wear on him. He doesn't know how to stop it. When you're in there and you're doing everything you can and nothing's working for you, it becomes very frustrating. Emotionally, it becomes draining. Nice job of moving the hips by Socrates Hernandez to get it back to half guard. So when you're seeing, his coach is saying the exact right thing. You're seeing Socrates grab that wrist, push it up the side. What you want to see from Bobby is slide your knee up on top, trap that arm. Now that'll free your hand and you can actually come with a punch or an elbow.
Calling for the shoulder strike, then he got his arm free and got two more big forearms. Output, the volume, the variety of the offense.
And there's such a difference. A lot of people are going to look and they're going to say, well, Socrates, he's punching back. He has no power on those punches. He doesn't have the ability to create power from his position while the shots he's absorbing have a lot. Gravity is working with Bobby Seronio.
He's trying to defend the tsunami with an umbrella right now.
Couldn't have said it better.
That's kind of why I'm here, right?
Exactly.
It is to the unending credit of Socrates Hernandez. He has taken 8 minutes of abuse here. And he's still working to stay in this fight.
Very, very tough. Nice push off.
Break him down first. You have to break him down. Break the table down. There you go. More pressure. Breathe, son.
Every time Socrates has something that works for him, he gets himself to a better position. It ends up being taken away. Again, take a look at his right arm. It is now under the control of Bobby Seronio.
Pressure. There you go, B. Breathe. Yes. Again. Again. Put that right on. Breathe. Go. Keep going, B. Keep going. Keep going. Down. Put a hook in. There we go. 2-1. Go. Line him up. Line him up. Line him up. Knee to the head. Knee to the head. Knee to the head.
Seronio's still winding up. You wonder how much energy he's got left.
At least Seronio is smart compared to his corner, because one of his cornermen was telling him knee to the head while his opponent was in a grounded position. So
we're going for number 3 here.
he's got that hand in position for a high crotch. You can do a lot of things right now.
There are times you see pro debut against pro debut and you roll your eyes a little bit and you say, well, what are we going to get out of this? This has been a remarkable 10 minutes to watch.
It's been an outstanding effort by both guys.
Stop. Breathe, son. You're doing good. 5 more minutes. 1 more round. How you feeling? Yeah? Give me a drink. Come on, drink. Take a deep breath in. All right, son, you're doing a great job. Again, control the distance with this.
Sorry, you gotta let your hands go, baby. This is everything. You're gonna lose the fight if you don't let your hands go. Do you understand me? Sock, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Come on, baby.
Let's go.
We train our ass out. This ain't nothing. You felt this shit before.
Hey, when he's gonna try to take your back, then you need to sit down. You can't just let him toss to you like that.
No,
You're standing up high, he's
down.
underneath. Okay, it's a pause. All right?
Let your hands go, baby. This is our only chance. Let your fucking hands go.
He goes in
You
for that
understand? You're
short
hesitating. You're
hand.
hesitating. Okay? So let your hands go.
Gotta let him go, baby.
Gotta let him go. So last round. Let's go.
Let's go, out. Clear, clear.
I'm not sure how much opportunity he's had to let his hands go.
I'm not sure how effective that coaching is at this time. And you're telling him to let his hands go. I think he knows to let his hands go. He's just not been given the opportunity, as you're saying.
You're going to be competitive? Okay. We're watching close, all right? Okay. Good.
What you're seeing right now, that's the ringside position coming in. That is the referee, Frank Trigg, bringing him in and just basically setting up the possibility of, hey, I'm not going to let you take that much more abuse in this fight. So I want you to know I need more out of you, so I don't have to stop the fight.
We're watching closely. Here are the words.
Take off! Take off! Take off! Body punch, left hook!
Your mouth is in.
Well, you take a look right now, Socrates' hands are so low. He's walking forward, he's being tough, but he's not being technical.
Socrates Hernandez fans here had that brief glimmer of hope as those elbows are raining down, looking for something to cheer about.
He's looking towards the triangle. He's nowhere close to it at this moment. He's got the legs in place. He's trying to grab that shin, closer, tighter. Still a lot of space. Needs to get that arm across. Neither arm is in a position for that triangle to work at this time. He's got the legs in place for it. He doesn't have the angle and he doesn't have the arm in place to create the pressure on that carotid artery.
For those who haven't seen this, where does his arm need to be?
He needs to take that arm and cross it over the body, get it into his waistline. You'll see that arm crossing over, so then it actually makes the shoulder put pressure on that carotid artery, which is going to choke him unconscious.
Socrates Hernandez, BJJ brown belt. Pull a very big rabbit out of the hat now.
What he should do is switch that triangle, reverse it into a different position, then squeeze both sides, because right now it's not going to work based upon the arm placement that he has with Seronio. There he's trying to cross it over. You see he's trying to cross it over right there. Bring it across. Now if you get to a position, he can cause Seronio. Now he's changing the angle. It's getting a lot tighter. Seronio needs to be careful, but he's getting his arm free back to the center. You also see, take a look at where his foot's at on that calf. Now it's not near as tight. There's space inside.
Those 3 or 4 inches make all the difference.
All the difference in the world. But he could go into switching towards, trying to work towards an armbar here.
This is what talk about 2 guys giving you absolutely everything in their pro debut.
Absolutely, and this is what I love about MMA, because for 2 rounds, Bobby Seronio has been dominating this fight, and now he finds himself in this position. He's asking himself, how did I get here? But the fight could end, and he could end up losing this if Socrates can pull this off.
You can't score 4 touchdowns in the final minute. You're not going to score 20 runs in the bottom of the 9th. But ask our buddy Chael, it can happen when you dominate a fight. And all it takes is that one moment.
There's some big shots. Again, he doesn't have the arms where he needs to have them. So, yes, he's got the triangle position, but there is no triangle there right now.
Socrates Hernandez trying to readjust that leg to get it back behind the knee.
See both hands inside. That's a good position right now for Bobby. You see Socrates trying to cross that arm over. Bobby's going,
Pieces out. Seronio kept his hands in the middle, as John told you. Kept himself safe. You never forget your first.
These were the elbows. This is what occurred, and you saw when he was going for the takedown, those elbows brought it to the point where he made that mistake of allowing that leg to come up. He gets the takedown, but they did have an effect, and then you see Socrates bring that triangle into effect. He grabs his shin, he tries to tighten it down. Bobby knew what was going on, but the elbows, they kind of rocked him a little bit, and he needed to gain that moment of time. Gets himself caught and then didn't want to make the big mistake in trying to get out and allowing that to actually take the fight from him. So he stayed there. A little bit of ground and pound. Great job by both guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to the judges' scorecards. Your first judge, George Allen, scores the fight 29-27. While judges Ron McCarthy and Michael Bell both see it exactly the same, 29-26. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Bobby, the humble warrior, Seronio.
The meeting of Mark Lemminger and Neiman Gracie at welterweight tonight presents the classic MMA duel of striker versus grappler. Lemminger has much to gain here. The Wisconsin native will look to keep the fight standing and build on that second-round TKO over DeMarcus Jackson in June. But for the motorcycle aficionado, it will be no easy ride against the jiu-jitsu ace. Gracie, ranked number 4 at welterweight, looks to bounce back after what I think was a debatable decision defeat to Jason Jackson in his last fight. The fluid fighter whose stand-up skills are improving exponentially to add to his dangerous ground game, of course, will aim to tie his opponent into a veritable knot. Will Gracie get hands on Lemminger, or will the American get another win here and throttle himself into the top 10 rankings?
The tale of the tape doesn't show you here is that he obviously, because of the suspension and injuries, has been largely inactive the last couple of years.
Very true. That reach of 72.5, meaning he's got to get inside. We'll see if Anthony Adams can keep him on the outside and at bay.
Tonight here at Bellator 266, the prelims continue now with 3 5-minute rounds in the middleweight division. Introducing first, the blue corner. At 6'1", weighing in 185.3 pounds. In his Bellator debut, he enters with 8 professional victories, 2 losses. Fighting out of Aurora, Colorado, Anthony Sugarfoot Adams. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner at 6 foot, weighing in 185.3 pounds. As a professional, 15 wins, 2 defeats from Mahatskala, Dagestan, Russia, presenting Khalid Murtazaliev. In charge, your referee, Blake Grice.
Ready? Ready? Fight!
The inactivity is the reason Murtazaliev is not in the top 10 at 185. That could change with a win here. Talked about the reach disadvantage. Watch the body kick, the liver shot from Murtazaliev. He will go for it.
But because Anthony Adams goes by the name Sugarfoot. The original Sugarfoot is a guy named Peter Cunningham from Alberta, Canada, one of the greatest kickboxing fighters of all time. Right now, he's not being quite Sugarfoot. He's being pretty steady in where he's at because he wants to be able to move quickly if there is a takedown attempt by Khalid.
Talked about elevation for Anthony Adams, his training partner, Grant Neal, coming up. And highly anticipated fight next with Alex Polizzi in this month of light heavyweights here in Bellator. I know a lot of you rummaging around online. There is major news regarding the light heavyweight Grand Prix we're going to have for you when we go live on Showtime in about an hour. Said for Murtazaliev, just his second fight, essentially in the last 2.5 years. What do you lose with inactivity like that in the middle of your career?
You use the timing of the fight. You know, you can do training and you're in the gym and you're all that, but the fight just seems much faster for you. It's at a different pace, it's at a different intensity. So when you get back, you've got to realize exactly what that speed is at. But right now, Khalid is looking very good. His chin is in a great position. He's landing clean shots. You see that Anthony is trying to keep him at length. I love that Anthony is bringing his kicks at least up high. Don't get rid of them. Bring them up high because they're hard to catch there and they can be effective.
Good point, George. You see everything. Yeah, he's bailing this finish low and he bails out.
One of the things you're seeing from Anthony Adams, watch how you see how he's turning his body. He goes from a bladed position, and then all of a sudden his left shoulder's dropping back and his right shoulder's coming forward. At one of those times, look for Khalid to take advantage of that, either stepping in with a big heavy shot or coming in for that double leg.
You just use the term people may not know, bladed position.
Look, anytime you're talking about a stance, right now you're looking at Anthony Adams. He's in the orthodox stance, meaning that his left foot is forward. He's a right-handed fighter, and he's blading his body, giving you less of his body to attack. He doesn't want to stand square, but in MMA, we stand much squarer than a boxer based upon takedown attempts. If you're square, it's easier to defend it. When you're bladed, it's very difficult to defend that takedown.
So spinning back into the Andrei Koreshkov look. Andrei Koreshkov will be fighting in Moscow.
Yeah, it wasn't a shot that landed, it was him kicking and being off balance. That's what put him down, but Anthony right now doing a very nice job of keeping that length. He's creating problems for Khalid as far as him getting inside on him.
Good combination.
You can see the power of those strikes. You can see that there's some snap on that.
Very little wasted motion. Time it the same way. Anthony Adams almost caught him. Yeah, knocked him off balance.
He hurt him.
He did.
But now he overextended, trying to come in and take advantage of that. Now he's in a position where he's fighting to keep himself from being on the deck.
The tell that he hurt him was Murtazaliev going for that takedown, which he almost never does. Big shots late in the round for Anthony Adams.
Nice elbow inside by Anthony.
Strong finish, turn round one.
Well, based upon the fact that everyone got used to Khabib Nurmagomedov being a guy that was always looking for the takedown, always going for it. They think that every Dagestani fighter fights that way, and they don't. They all have their own styles. They're all good at the wrestling, but a lot of them have a stand-up style. Well, they want to keep the fight on the feet. That's where they feel most comfortable.
Murtazaliev now doing his work at Jackson Wink.
Nice front kick, very clean.
You like those early in the round too, because they make you think.
They definitely get your attention quick.
I'm always fascinated. Anthony Adams isn't necessarily one of these guys. I've seen a couple of Malik Polizzi coming up next is who say when you ask about their opponent, I don't watch film. And I don't. Maybe it's my background being different. I'm always baffled by that. I get if you don't want to talk about your opponent, but this idea that I don't watch film, to me, it just seems like the natural evolution of this is you need to be watching a little film.
No doubt in my mind, you should be watching film of your opponent because there's things for you to learn in that study. It's no different than football, baseball, basketball, all of them. You know, a pitcher's going to do certain things every time the same way. Well, same with a fighter when he's in there. He's going to throw the punch a certain way. He's going to follow it up with the same type of combination. And a lot of guys will say, I have my coach watch that. Okay, I'm not saying that's bad. That's your system, but it does not hurt for you to watch it.
I wonder if the percentage of guys that say that will go down 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
I don't know. You know, it's one of those, you do hear it quite often, and it's like, why?
Yeah. Then if it's really true, why say it? On top of it. Murtazaliev remaining patient. His corner was exactly right. He's not a high volume. It's power shots. Man, when he touches you, you know it.
Anthony Adams is doing a good job of controlling that space. He's the one that's dictating exactly when these engagements really occur because he's the guy that's throwing more often, and he's also giving some really good fakes. He's got a good fake with his kick setup. He's also bringing up that uppercut like he's going to throw at a time, and that is keeping Murtazaliev in a position where he's just not comfortable in executing fully with what he can do. Nice shot to the body by Khalid.
Murtazaliev has a little cut over his left eye.
And again, I love the fact that Anthony Adams is continuing to throw those kicks up high.
Left jab took Adams off balance. Seeing some of the reach issues are certainly playing out.
No doubt about it. This is what, when we talk about, having an advantage with that reach, is that going to be a factor in the fight? Right now, it's a factor in this fight. For the most part, yes, you'll see Khalid at times being able to come inside and try to land, but it's Anthony Adams that's been the guy that's controlling that range. He's the one that's dictating when those engagements take place.
Adams' corner saying that Murtazaliev is going to shoot. I'm not so sure.
Look at what you just saw. You saw 4 different feints from Anthony Adams, and you saw responses on each one of them by Khalid. Then he's switching up to southpaw, just creating more problems for him.
Anthony Adams has kept him off balance. He's avoided a lot of these power shots, but I'm not sure what he is doing offensively.
Well, and that's
taking a shot like that.
Right now, you're taking the last 3 shots have been landed by Khalid.
Good leg kick.
Again, nice kick coming up.
But if you've ever been to those places, if you've been to Denver, you've been to Colorado, that's no joke. That is no joke. You start running out there.
Fight!
You quickly feel it.
Yeah.
Again, right here, the big difference, you're seeing Khalid trying to land that one big shot. He's not throwing in combination, so if that one shot misses, then he's actually accepting a counter from Anthony Adams. So more into combinations, what I think would work well for Khalid.
Let me pose this way. Do you think there is a avenue for a judge to have seen either of these rounds for Adams?
Oh, absolutely. You can take a look, and when you're looking at volume, because which guy's been hurt, which guy's been hit by heavy damaging shots, well, neither one really, but so volume is what's taking place. It's a nice clinch right here by Khalid. He's got the ability to possibly get this takedown. We'll see if he's able to make this happen. Nice job by Anthony Adams, keeping the fight where he wants it. I would say, landed as far as when I was talking about volume of strikes, looking at the, the first and second round, I believe that Anthony Adams has landed more shots. Now, he may not have landed with as much power of each one as Khalid, and so that's going to be for the judge to try to decipher what he believes was the most effective. Was it the volume or was it the power?
Good job, Anthony. Now you go. Now you go. Good. And go. 1-1. Now you take it slow. Take it slow. Good job, Anthony. Good. Now break it.
Adams had success. We talked about that high kick a lot, but that low kick's landed enough to cause some damage.
Yeah, it has. And it's been clear that Murtazaliev, he doesn't try to catch that kick for a takedown or anything. He's thinking more of keeping this fight in the stand-up at times.
Again, that's where numbers can be. That's a good one. The numbers can be misleading, but again, it's volume versus power, both with the kicks and the strikes.
Yeah, but you take a look at that 24 or 48. We're talking about, not just doubling, more than tripling as far as what is landed.
Hey, find your form for me. Find your form. 2 minutes.
One of the better shots of the fight.
Wells had him a little off balance. Again, comes back, nice left hook. You're seeing a little bit more urgency on the part of Murtazaliev to come in and engage and try to land that big shot.
This time he does grab the leg. Low blow in the middle of it.
Yes. Yes.
Murtazaliev tells referee Blake Grice, no, and he goes, yes.
Accident.
And the guy who delivers the kick doesn't really get to decide that.
No, he doesn't. You take a look at what happens here. He gets the body lock,
5 minutes.
and he brings the knee up. Looks like it touches below the belt line, maybe at the top of the cup. So it's a
coaching on a foul.
It's a good call as far as he's got to keep those knees up above, down below, make sure that there's no doubt where it landed.
All right. Hey, come right over here for me.
You just heard Blake Grice.
Here we go, guys.
Bark out. We don't hear this a lot. No
Fight.
coaching on the foul.
That's because when the time is called, that's not the coach's or the corner's time. That is the referee's time. You don't get to coach your fighter at that moment.
Now you see everything.
Couldn't you just tell some fan what to yell? We go to the cards here. This is going to be interesting.
Yes, it is. And you can see the urgency on Khalid Murtazaliev. He's trying to press this. He's trying to come more at him.
This could be 40 seconds early to say it, but just for the heck of it. This could be one of those fights where it could be 30 to 27 for either guy, depending on how you look at it.
And he's looking for a switch here. He's putting a lot of pressure down. Trying to get his leg to the outside. By getting the switch, he's going to be putting pressure down on that shoulder area of Murtazaliev. With the amount of time this takedown is not going to really take effect, he's going to have no impact in this round.
High stakes fight for Murtazaliev in his second fight in Bellator, trying to climb into the top 10 at 185, and he's going to have to sweat it out here going to the card. So bear that out. Volume for Anthony Adams. Power shots for Murtazaliev, but were there enough? Most of those kicks for Anthony Adams, those little front kicks, taking Murtazaliev off balance.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your scorecards, where all three judges, Sean Dallas Hall, Frank Trigg, Wade Vera, all see it exactly the same, 29 to 28. All have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Anthony Sugarfoot Adams.
Got the tail of the tape. Grant Neal ranks 7th right now among the light heavyweights. Alex Polizzi knows he will join that top 10 with a win here.
Very simply put, look at that. Grant Neal at 6-0, undefeated. Polizzi with the 1 loss. This should be an absolute barn burner.
A lot of bright lights shining on 205 in Bellator. It starts right here and right now with Michael C. Williams.
Tonight here at SAP Center, the time has come to conclude the prelims here at Bellator 266. We'll do it with 3 5-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Introducing the blue corner at 6 foot, weighing in 204.9 pounds. His professional record, 8 wins, just 1 loss, fighting out of Madison, Wisconsin, Alex "Easy" Polizzi. And across the cage, his adversary out of the red corner at 5'11", weighing in 204.1. The undefeated professional enters at 6-0. He fights out of Denver, Colorado, Grand the Truth Neal. In charge, your referee, Mike Beltonon.
High
All right, gentlemen,
stakes.
first round. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Hell, let's go.
Keep it straight, don't force it. That's where I want to see you time that right hand. Time and
You referenced Polizzi's loss, Julius Angliscus, who is, of all the names we've talked about at 205, that's probably the one name of the most dominant fighter that is not getting any attention at the moment. And that is a 205 who came into the cage against Polizzi, and all of a sudden they looked like they were from different planets, let alone different weight classes. I mean, he looked like he was 220, 225.
Oh, Angliscus is huge. You know, he's just put together like a Greek god also. He's just super strong, very good with his boxing, very just basic and sharp. Doesn't throw a lot of looping punches, a lot of straight punches, but very effective.
As we said, stay tuned. Good shot by Grant Neal, quick left jab, knocked Polizzi backwards. Get to showtime at the top of the hour. There's a major announcement coming regarding the light heavyweight Grand Prix next month in Phoenix. A lot of you already creeping around online and piece some of it together. Stay tuned, we'll make it official on showtime.
Polizzi has already learned quickly that Grant Neal is a strong man. Not easy to take down. And he needs to be very careful at not getting frustrated by getting shut down in those takedowns. But he's got to watch the striking power of Grant Neal.
And there we talked about the Division II National Championship as a freshman. Started in that game. Level change.
And this is the difference when we talk about MMA. Polizzi's a guy who comes from a collegiate wrestling background, but you see Grant Neal, who's just athletic, becomes an MMA fighter. He gets the takedown, and that's based upon you're going to get yourself out of position by throwing strikes at times, and the takedowns will come.
Saw some early shots taken by Polizzi, and in the Ankliskas fight, he was asked after the fight what he did well in that loss. He said, well, beating jabs is a skill. I did that well.
Right now, that left hand of Grant Neal, be it by jab or hook, it is landing and landing consistently. Polizzi coming out of the hard.
And that's what,
that's what happens when you rush your opponent.
Make yourself out of
so
position.
Strong.
Talked about the football background of Grant Neal playing at a high level of Division II. He also won a Little League football national championship, which helped the fact that he played with his best friend on that team, Christian McCaffrey.
That guy plays football?
So if Grant Neal tells you to take Christian McCaffrey first in your fantasy football draft, it's not just because he wants to help the team. It's been his best friend for years and years. And if he wasn't in season right now, he'd be at the SAP Center, there's no doubt.
Christian McCaffrey, just unbelievable running back for the Carolina Panthers.
And a huge MMA fan.
Oh, yeah.
Left hand finding its mark. Another level change and another takedown. Boy, this has to be a frustrating first round for Polizzi.
Yeah, Polizzi had to come into this looking. He goes, oh, you know, when it comes to the wrestling, that's going to be my area. And so far, he's been the guy that's been taken down multiple times. Now, let's be honest, Grant hasn't done a lot with the takedowns, but in the stand-up, he's landed the better strikes, and he has gotten the best of the grappling by the takedowns. So right now, Polizzi's got to figure out something to counteract what's occurring.
Neal talks about the first 3 rounds he ever sparred when he got to elevation. All they did was throw him in with Pat Barry, Brandon Gertz, and Justin Gaethje.
That means someone doesn't like you. You know, that
sounds like a prank.
Well, that's Jake Robles, who is his coach. Jake does not get near the credit that he deserves for being an outstanding MMA coach. He takes care of his guys, he works them well, but he's going to challenge you in the gym. He's going to make you better, and that's why Grant Neal is here now.
Puts together a very impressive first round.
This is where Polizzi, he overextends, comes too fast. You see just the level change, and it's strength that Grant Neal uses to pick him up, drop him down. Now, the one thing that you're going to see out of Grant Neal that he needs to change is when he does get these takedowns, notice his head being on the outside, and he's driving towards his head. He needs to bring his head to the high side, and in my opinion, get his head more towards the center of Polizzi so that guillotine attempt is not even a concern.
3 takedowns in round 1, all for Grant Neal.
All right, gentlemen, second round. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Let's go.
Nice 1-2 by Grant Neal, started off.
Started round 1. That jab has been impressive.
Polizzi's starting to just show a little bit of frustration.
Yeah.
He's overextending here, he's getting hit, and he's starting to get a little wild. He just needs to keep his composure. He's got good skills, he's got good wrestling. Just take your time, find out your position like he is right now.
See it in his body language after round 1. He wasn't hurt, but he was very frustrated.
Nice job of dragging that leg out. He's going towards that ankle. Trying to treetop that leg.
He walked into this.
Yeah. He's doing a good job with his head position, driving Grant Neal's chin over to the side for the most part.
Polizzi's one of the guys I was talking about earlier that says, yeah, I don't watch film, I don't watch tape of my opponent. Grant Neal looks like he's got the playbook so far in this fight.
Grant Neal, he's done very well in understanding where Polizzi is strong and what he needs to do to counter his game. But right now, he needs to frame out and walk his way out of this and get his back off of the cage, which he just did.
He's getting desperate. Let it go.
Looking at high-level prospects at 205. Christian Edwards will kick off the main card on Showtime, top of the hour.
I'd really like to see Grant Neal utilize that jab in a more continuous fashion. He's been effective with it. That was a big clucking action with it, but that jab has worked for him. He can use that jab with the cross off of it. He's been able to touch Alex Polizzi. Right now you want to see Grant put a lot of weight down on the head, keep the head of Polizzi down towards that canvas. He's unable to do so. That's why Polizzi is able to pull that leg out. Nice job of finishing that takedown by Polizzi. Neal working his way, using the cage as a great balance point. Guillotine attempt is not going to work with the leg position that you're seeing from Grant Neal. In fact, he's getting himself caught in a Von Flue choke. There's a possibility of him being choked out here.
Watch the left shoulder of Polizzi. He's able to drive it forward.
He needs to get his hands together. He doesn't have that, so he's not able to put enough pressure. But Grant needs to let go of that head. From this position, right now, Grant Neal's left arm is trapped. Cannot get it free, and there's a lot of pressure. Polizzi is working for a Von Flue choke here. Nice job of Grant to get his arm free.
So easy to wind up in danger. Sometimes it's hard to describe what inexperience does and where it shows up. That's a great example.
The fight started late.
Yeah, it's turned dramatically here.
Nice movement by Polizzi.
Trying to get a hook in.
Did not settle. Got himself back onto the hips. Only got one hook in right now with the left hook. He's trying to put himself forward. Nice job of getting that hook. Got them both in now. Flattening out the hips.
Grant Neal went from controlling this fight to just trying to survive the round.
Right now, Polizzi looking for that rear naked choke.
Grant Neal won't let him lock hands. That happened fast. This thing turned instantly. And a big second round for Alex Polizzi. See the result of that left jab of Grant Neal early in the fight.
Ready to fight?
Polizzi's body language has completely changed. He's gone from frustrated to ring the bell.
Yep, got a little bit more, just wants to get out there. He wants to get back to what he was doing. We'll see if he's able to do it.
front kick sets up that charge.
Boy, that was a strange front kick. It almost looked like Alex hurt his knee on it, but stick it in there.
Neal saw that shot coming.
Nice job by Grant Neal. Brings himself right back to the center of the cage. Don't move straight back. Lateral movement is what he needs right now. Polizzi pushes into the cage.
Turn off, Grant.
Right now, Grant Neal should establish an underhook and turn that position. Don't accept this.
Polizzi has gone over and over again. He's gone down very deep to try to get that.
Well, right now he's into an Iranian lip.
Yep. I've seen this from him before.
All that work, getting no results. That does not make you feel good about Polizzi. You see,
he's exhausted.
Look at the big breath. Right now, Grant Neal needs to come around. Don't accept the position.
Hey, there was an opportunity there for Grant Neal. He's tired too. There's something to me, John, about the way Polizzi is moving on his left leg. Even the rush earlier was off balance.
Do you remember that kick that he threw?
Yes.
Weird position is
yes.
up in.
Yeah, Polizzi's not right.
Keep coming. Keep coming.
That right leg, he's stepping very stiff with it. In fact, right there,
this is a problem.
A little bit of a twist. But he didn't throw a nice kick with it.
This one has lived up to our height.
Nice change of levels, but not enough to drive into Grant. He's going to have a hard time finishing this takedown, but at least he's able to get him up towards the cage. Both guys are exhausted. A lot of lactic acid in those arms. They're both heavy. Their legs are heavy. But if you're Grant Neal and you see Alex Polizzi doing what he's doing right now and his hands down low, that's got to tell you, I got to go. I got to make him break. Not saying you can do it, but at least give that effort in trying.
High stakes at 205. They have both fought like it. Grant Neal dominated, controlled the first round, but Alex Polizzi turned it around dramatically early in the second round. Had a couple of opportunities to end it on the ground. This was very much up for grabs here as we're about to enter minute 15.
Can't see the hand position right now. Polizzi foot on his butt by Neal. We'll see if Neal can continue and hold this takedown, make it effective. He's lacing the legs of Polizzi, but his head is down, and that is not a good place. He needs to get his head up high.
He knows he needs to get back to his feet. He's trying.
He's working hard. Grant Neal still working, trying to hold that leg. Both guys are just exhausted. They've given everything they could.
Almost a pile driver, power slam.
Powerbomb.
Yeah. Wow, what a show. What a show.
31 strikes landed compared to 37. Very close. Punches, a little bit more for Polizzi. Takedowns, which is amazing. 4 for Grant Neal compared to 2 for Alex Polizzi, the wrestler. Just very, very close fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges. Your first, Jaron Villel, scores the fight 29-28. He scores it for Neal. Your second judge, Sean Dallas Hall, scores the fight 29-28. He sees it for Polizzi. Your third and final judge at cage-side, Wade Vera, scores the fight 29-28 for the win by split decision, Alex Polizzi.
He took his best shots, he took the takedowns, and now he has taken the 0 from Grant Neal.
When you go by Soldier of God, you hold yourself to a higher standard and sense of purpose. For Yoel Romero, that mindset drove him to become a 3-time World Cup wrestling champion, an Olympic silver medalist, and a reputation as one of the most explosive and dangerous mixed martial artists.
I never been bigger, faster, and stronger. Nobody can stop me.
When you're known as Mr. Wonderful,
That's my tagline.
you exude charm, charisma,
You know.
and an abundance of confidence.
If I get 2 hands on your wrist, I'm breaking it.
For Phil Davis, that combination propelled him to become an NCAA Division I National Wrestling Champion and a Bellator Light Heavyweight World Champion.
Mr. Wonderful!
Bellator MMA is home to some of the best 205-pound fighters. And tonight, the light heavyweight spotlight shines bright on these 2 warriors. The Soldier of God, Yoel Romero, goes to battle in the Bellator cage for the first time, looking to stake his claim amongst the division's elite.
Soldier of God is here, right here.
But Mr. Wonderful Phil Davis is set on giving Romero a not-so-warm welcome and reestablish himself as a championship contender.
Hey, I'm coming back for my belt.
The SAP Center in San Jose, California is one of the cathedrals of mixed martial arts, having played host to many memorable MMA matches. And we welcome you inside the house that Frank the Legend Shamrock built, where everyone is buzzing due to one of the most anticipated debuts in Bellator MMA history. The stakes in tonight's main event are high because Davis versus Romero could be a gateway to the belt following the Grand Prix. Hello and welcome to Bellator 266 here in the 408. I'm Mauro Ranallo. Tonight we welcome a familiar face to a new place. Yoel Romero is built like a Greek god, and speaking of Greek, tonight marks the alpha of his Bellator MMA journey, and he's intent on proving that he is the alpha male in the loaded light heavyweight division. 11 of his 13 victories have come courtesy of fire hose blasts of brutality, including 2 flying knee knockouts of Clifford Starks and Chris Weidman, one of 4 former champions Romero has conquered. Tonight against Davis, he hopes to make it number 5. And when it comes to Mr. Wonderful, I want to paraphrase one of the dearly departed Bay Area bar spitter Shock G's lyrics. Stop what you're doing, because Davis says he's about to ruin Romero's first foray in Bellator MMA and improve to 5-0 here at the Shark Tank. Time to bring in the great white shark of analysts, Big John McCarthy. And John, when you and I have talked about tonight's main event, you say it's all about the great unknown.
It is about the unknown, because you're taking a look at Yoel Romero, a guy who's 44 years of age, a guy who has been out for over 18 months, a guy who had an eye injury, a guy who is now moving up in weight class, which I think is a great thing, from 185 to 205. He was killing himself making that weight, and I think it affected his performances. So when you're looking at him now, look at how he looks. He looks good. He's happy when you talk to him. He's not killing himself, and I think it will make a difference in his performance. Now on the other side, you're looking at Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis, a guy who needs to be motivated. We've seen that, and he is motivated with this fight. He's got incredible wrestling. He's got incredible talent. His length, the way he can fight, he's never been stopped in a fight. He is special. Is Romero the guy that gets him motivated enough for that breakthrough performance?
Well, we know that up until this point, the former Bellator MMA light heavyweight champion, Phil Davis, had never met anyone whose wrestling credentials superseded his until tonight. He faces a two-time Olympian and Olympic silver medalist in Yoel Romero. That's tonight's compelling feature attraction. But here at the home of the NHL San Jose Sharks, we are going to bring you 4 more face-offs. Former Bellator welterweight title challenger Neiman Gracie looks to bounce back from the second setback of his career when he collides with Mark Lemminger, who faces the toughest exam of his career. Number 5 ranked flyweight and former title challenger Alejandra Lara duels with DeAnna Vitamin D Bennett, a huge hockey fan and player who is living out her dream of competing in this rink. In what could be the fight of the night, both Georgi, Karakhanyan, and Saul Rogers say they have a new lease on life after moving up to 155. Bellator 266 is bookended by 205 action. The undefeated number 8 ranked contender Christian Edwards and the man who shares the same nickname as two-time Super Bowl winning coach Bill Parcells and Chicago gangster Tony Accardo, Ben Big Tuna Parrish, are ready to get it on.
Our tail of tape for this light heavyweight matchup, 78.5 in reach for Christian Edwards, 73 for Ben Parrish, but that really doesn't matter for Ben because he wants to get this fight to the ground and utilize his ground game.
Here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to Bellator MMA. Tonight, we're back at SAP Center in San Jose, California, as Bellator 266 is set to begin now, live on Showtime, with 3 5-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Introducing first, the blue corner, at 6 foot, weighing in 205.6 pounds. His professional record, 4 wins, 1 loss, from Pontotoc, Mississippi, Ben Big Tuna Parrish. And across the cage, his adversary, fighting out of the red corner, at 6'5", weighing in 204.3 pounds, undefeated as a professional, 5 victories, no defeats, fighting out of Albuquerque, New Mexico, Christian Payne Edwards. In charge of the action, your referee, Jason Herzog.
According to the odds, this is a David versus Goliath matchup, with David being the undefeated Christian Edwards, but Ben Parrish, his slingshot is loaded with submissions, 4 wins, all 4 via sub, and the bell, round 1. Edwards in the red gloves, Parrish in the blue. Front kick to the midsection oblique kick, and a 1-2 by Edwards, off to a fast start.
Nice use of the oblique kick to get Ben Parrish off balance, but you saw Ben just shrug it off, come after Christian, start the exchange.
Southpaw! Parrish just landed! It's on the left hand! Mamma mia! Ben Parrish has shocked the world!
Don't ever doubt me again. Don't you ever bully somebody.
This is what I was saying when we were talking about Ben Parrish. Look, the only loss was that break of his leg. The guy can fight. But there's one shot that changed the course of the evening here. Christian Edwards lands nice straight right hand. Watch this left hand. Boom! It lands clean. Christian is stunned going down. He tries to hold on, but that hammer fist lands again. Watch the left hand.
From the southpaw stance, when Edwards switched, it put him in harm's way.
Absolutely. Got his chin up close. That Ben Parrish sees the opportunity, lands hammer fist. That's why you never count someone out. You look and say, can the guy fight? We looked and said, yeah, he can fight. He's tough. He's got a great ground game. But you see the power of Ben Parrish, the big tuna.
That's it.
Pulls it out.
I know, make it kick. That's it. You better. Come on. That's it.
and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end. 38 seconds into round number 1. The winner by knockout, Ben Parrish.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with your winner in stunning fashion. Big knockout, Ben Parrish. Tell me how it feels right now.
It feels good to shut a lot of people up, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
You came in this, you had a lot of confidence. When we talked in the fighter meetings, you talked about, I'm gonna show everyone. Everyone thinks that they know. They have no idea. I have power in my hands. We talked about you having a good ground game. You said power was the difference in this. You proved it.
I told my boss, Casey, back home, I'll knock him out with a left hook. What'd I say? Hey, don't get it twisted. Everybody will find an excuse to throw salt on me. Hey, that's not luck, that's preparation, baby. If I can't do it with 6 months of training to beat him, nobody was gonna beat him.
We also talked about you taking a long time off from fighting based upon you broke your leg in a fight when you kicked. It's happened to other guys. How was it coming back in this cage mentally? Was that any problem at all?
You remember what I told you, Big John? I'm from the mean streets of Mississippi. You could get it any day of the week, any of them that end in Y. So whether it's in a cage, in the parking lot, in Fresno, San Jose, West Coast, what's up, baby?
Ladies and gentlemen, your winner, the Big Tuna, Ben Parrish. Our tail of the tape for this lightweight, and I love saying lightweight matchup between these two, 155.6 and 155.7. Both of these guys used to fight at featherweight. It used to kill them. Now they're going to be healthy and fighting well at 155.
This man is definitely no lightweight. He is a heavyweight on the microphone, Michael C. Williams.
Live on Showtime, Bellator MMA moves down to the lightweight division, scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds. Introducing first the blue corner. At 5'10", weighing in 155.7 pounds. His professional record, 14 wins, 4 losses. Fighting out of Deerfield Beach, Florida, he hails from Manchester, England, Saul, the Hangman Rogers. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 5'8", weighing in 155.6 pounds, the veteran brings 31 professional victories, 11 defeats, 1 draw by way of Moscow, Russia. He fights out of Riverside, California, Georgi, Insane Karakhanyan. And the referee in charge, Frank Trigg.
We are set. Georgi Karakhanyan, 9-9 in Bellator, 4 knockouts, 3 submissions. Saul Rogers, 2-2 with 1 sub-victory.
Fight!
The bell in round 1, lightweight action. Georgi Karakhanyan in the red gloves. Saul Rogers in the blue, double jab. Splitting the guard of Karakhanyan by Rogers early, again honing his striking skills with Henry Hooft in the Sunshine State. Overhand right just misses for Rogers. Left hook, right hand combination. Some sharp striking from Rogers early, John.
Absolutely, but you're also watch Georgi. He's trying to counter. He's trying to set up that timing. He's looking for the counter, so it's not like he's getting run over right now. He's just taking his time. Saul Rogers establishing a very good left jab.
And you know that jab is annoying Georgi Karakhanyan like autocorrect as Karakhanyan looks to come correct as a glitch. Knee up the middle by Karakhanyan, and on the exit lands the right.
Georgi is known as a very strong fighter, but he's going to find out that Saul Rogers physically is going to be one of the strongest opponents he's ever been in the cage with. He just needs to be smart about not trying to overpower Saul. Use the technique that has gotten you so far.
I love the way Rogers is putting together his punches. Not necessarily going to the textbook 1-2. There's a stiff jab followed by the left hook by Rogers. Outside leg kick, and Rogers really bringing it to Karakhanyan. But like you said, John, Karakhanyan waiting for the counter, not really being damaged by the blows.
Oh, he's just taking his time, and this showing that, you know, he's a veteran in this sport. But right here, this is where Saul Rogers really starts to use that strength He bullies everyone on the ground. Now the real question is, does he want to be on the ground with Georgi? Georgi's got great submissions, but I will say Sal Rogers' ground and pound, when he finally establishes it and gets going, it is vicious.
Rogers has great submissions as well, with 9 on his resume. Under 3 minutes left here in the opening stanza. Rogers being neutralized in the, well, now open guard, and Karakhanyan knows a thing or two about the, French Revolution's favorite submission, the guillotine.
He has got an outstanding guillotine, sets it up very well, actually gets his opponent to put their head in a place where it's not supposed to be, and all of a sudden, it's locked on and tight.
Rogers stacking Karakhanyan along the fence, dropping some long-range right hands, grazing the jaw, and going to the body and back upstairs.
Big, heavy shots, too. Those were not little arm punches, body, head. Those are heavy. Look at the posture.
Mexican Independence Day weekend, and he went to the body like it was filled with candy, but now Karakhanyan looking to control Rogers' head. Coming up on the final 2 minutes of the first round as we are involved in lightweight action. Almost time to say featherweight there for just a moment, even though both, Karakhanyan has been here now. It's his 5th fight. And Rogers back, moving up to 155, coming off a submission loss to Mads Burnell. Was involved in, both in the featherweight Grand Prix.
Sal Rogers was in the featherweight Grand Prix, so was Georgi, but again, losing a lot of weight, it actually put them in positions where they couldn't accept as much damage. They got hurt by shots that they normally wouldn't get hurt by.
The Grand Prix coronating A.J. McKee as the king at 145. Patricio Pitbull still the king at 155. Rogers with the waistlock takedown, tripod by Karakhanyan.
Nice return to the ground by Sal Rogers. Karakhanyan working to get himself up, but when you get taken right back down, it can become demoralizing. You just got to keep telling yourself, it's all right, just going to keep on working the position. Right now, Saul Rogers kind of mauling Georgi Karakhanyan. He's not really hurting him, but he's just all over him, and Georgi can't figure out the puzzle of getting free.
They both like to snatch the neck. For Rogers, 5 of his submission wins have come via rear naked choke. And of course, as we mentioned, Karakhanyan, he loves the guillotine with 6 guillotine wins. But right now he's being fed a diet of right hands from Rogers before wrist control by Karakhanyan momentarily.
Rogers doing a very good job of just systematically landing.
Oh, shoulder strike.
Beautiful shoulder strike right there. And normally when we talk about a shoulder strike, not a lot of damage, not a lot of heat to it. That one had a lot of power behind it.
And again, irritating, knocking you off rhythm momentarily, and Karakhanyan looking to ride out the rest of the round, controlling the head of Rogers, but Rogers in control in the opening 5.
This is when Sal Rogers got behind Georgi, brings him right back down after he got up, right back down to the mat, and then landed all kinds of different strikes. But look at this shoulder strike right here. Didn't land incredibly hard on the chin, but it definitely got the attention and at least makes Georgi have to think about him using that technique again.
We are seeing marked improvement in Saul Rogers striking, thanks to what's going on in the Sunshine State with Sanford MMA.
Look, when you're talking about the basics of striking and what someone can learn, Henry Hooft is just fantastic. Dutch style of kickboxing.
Bell in round 2, and when you again are leaving your family back in your native UK, and he said he didn't want to disrespect his training partners in England, but he says there is levels to this game, and you get some of the best training at Sanford MMA. And Rogers outstriking Karakhanyan 18-7 in that opening round. And when it came to ground control, Major Tom, 2 minutes 36 seconds for Rogers, 0 for Karakhanyan. Rogers takes him down again.
He's going to be right back on it. Georgi went for the guillotine as far as looking for that neck, but he does not have it in this position. Nice job of wrapping up and figure four-ing the legs. He just let go of it. Georgi turned his back. You see Sal trying to get that hook. Now he's got it. That sets Georgi back a step.
And the back of his opponents are the canvas in which Rogers is very adroit again. Majority of his submissions via the rear naked choke, but Karakhanyan shelling up, but being nailed with those right hands underneath.
Nice job of dropping back down by Saul. Look where his head's at. Head is high. That means he's going to win the position and get him where he wants. He would like to get Georgi's back off of the cage, though. He wants to swing those hips to one side or the other.
Rogers said he didn't want to toot his own horn, and then tooted it by saying he's better in every department against Georgi Karakhanyan. Of course, Karakhanyan in every, that's what you're supposed to say.
You gotta believe that, so there's nothing wrong with him saying it. Georgi believes he's better in every category, and that's fine.
But don't you also need to be honest with yourself and realize where there are certain areas that you probably need to work on? Because every fighter has his certain flavor.
You absolutely need to work on every area of MMA. But right now, what Saul Rogers is showing is when he would, at this point in the fight as a featherweight, slow down and control instead of damage, he's going after damaging Georgi Karakhanyan, and that's a big difference in the fight.
Appreciate the work to the body by Saul Rogers, battering Georgi Karakhanyan and draining him of the all-important energy as he is forced to carry Saul Rogers on his back, and Rogers continuing to try to set up the rear naked choke with these right hands.
He is, and eventually, if he continues on with what you're seeing and is able to do damage, it's going to slow Georgi down to where he makes a mistake, and that neck will become available.
Dan Henderson, Fedor Emelianenko with those right hands underneath the armpit, and there's Karakhanyan, just removed, going for the guillotine choke.
This is what we talked about with Georgi Karakhanyan. He will get a hold of that neck very good with that guillotine.
Oh, no. Switch knee, and what a combination as Karakhanyan with the switch, flying knee, and now lighting up Saul Rogers. What a night already here in San Jose, and another
Georgi's a little
jumping knee, and another jumping knee by Georgi Karakhanyan before he is taken to the ground by a bewildered Saul Rogers. Wow.
He definitely got hurt by that flying knee. It landed, it had some power to it. But Georgi kind of, he put a big dent in that gas tank.
Karakhanyan said he was extra excited to be on the same card as his favorite fighter, Yoel Romero. As I mentioned at the top, Romero has 2 flying knee knockouts. Karakhanyan was looking to do the same, but now Rogers controlling them on the ground, looking to take advantage of this position.
See, and all of that started from Georgi Karakhanyan being offensive and going for that guillotine, set everything up. That's what got him to the position of being able to land the flying knee.
Final minute of an entertaining second round. As anticipated, we thought this had the earmarks of fight of the night, and Rogers and Karakhanyan doing their best to put them in contention.
The other thing to think about, Moro, you talked about it before, only 10 days notice for Karakhanyan in taking this fight. It's been a high pace, a lot of action.
30 seconds left in the second. Rogers using those punches to try to open up Georgi Karakhanyan so he could slip that left arm underneath his neck, and again, try for, well, what has been a very successful submission thus far in his career, the RNC, but you know Karakhanyan isn't going to make it easy. Oh no, it don't come easy.
Here comes Georgi Karakhanyan. This was the flying knee. Look at it, snaps the head back, and you see it wobbles Saul Rogers. He has problems with it. He goes after him. Rogers got a little bit of a smile, but he definitely got stung by it, and then he comes right back again. Again, brings it up, doesn't land on the chin, more to the body. Again, brings it, going after it. You gotta love what you saw.
The veteran, insane Georgi Karakhanyan, and went after Rogers with that Vanderlei Silva special with the blizzard of strikes.
Plant your feet. Get sit on your shots. You had him hurt, but your feet were too close together. There was no pop on the punches. Bend your legs a little bit. Keep your foot on the gas.
Saul, go around. Georgi. Go around.
Crowd showing its appreciation from what has been a spirited scrap between Saul Rogers and Georgi Karakhanyan. Big John McCarthy unofficial scorecard going into this important third round.
Right now, I've got this fight even, and look, I know that Rogers had a lot of good work in the second, but he got hurt. He was in trouble for a moment in that fight.
And Karakhanyan looking for the guillotine.
Again, he's got that in tight. You see him why he's wrapping the leg around the back is to create pressure, but he doesn't have enough. He wants to bring that foot up or that knee up to extend and stretch Sal Rogers away from his arms. I don't know if he's got enough left in his arms. He doesn't. After 2 rounds of fighting like that, it is not an easy thing. And then to get that squeeze, just more lactic acid in the arms.
This is where you want to let your opponent see you sweat when he's going for a submission.
This is where you almost make that gurgle sound on purpose to let him try to squeeze hard. Nice knee inside by Saul Rogers.
Saul Rogers again, leaving his girlfriend Brogan and his children Xander and Bo at home. I was asked by Rogers to give him a special shout out, let them know that he loves them, and of course, earning the family's keep here in the Bellator MMA cage, and now looking to try to finish a man who has been stopped 3 times in his career, but this is his 44th professional fight.
Nice job of Sal sitting him back.
Talking about insane Georgi Karakhanyan trying to reverse position, but that's going to be made even more difficult by Rogers grapevining the left leg of Karakhanyan.
Yeah, he's got that nicely entwined with his leg. That's going to keep Georgi's leg from being able to extend up, get himself to a standing position. It's not that Georgi's getting seriously hurt, but he is absorbing just more and more as far as punishment.
And the crowd here in San Jose, again, spoiled by some of the best fights in MMA history there. They're getting on these 2 guys, but
there's nothing to boo.
Nothing to boo, baby.
I'm telling you right now, both guys are putting a lot of energy out. Great fight so far. Great performance by Sal Rogers as far as, man, he's only had a small amount of time where he was in trouble against Georgi here. For the most part, he's been dominating a lot of the action.
In the words of my friend Adam Cole, nothing to boo here, baby, as we've got Saul Rogers continuing to try to put it on Georgi Karakhanyan, trying to flatten him out on the canvas. Karakhanyan keeps getting back up to his feet, and man, they are working for every inch here with under 2 minutes left in the fight. Yeah, and an important fight for both of them at this stage of their respective careers.
True. Sal Rogers just bulldogging him around, throwing him around, little movements. He tries to get himself free, and all of a sudden he's finding himself back down on the canvas. It can be a frustrating moment for Georgi. Georgi has no quit in him. He's continuing to go after this. He's working, trying to get himself up. Nice clean shot by Sal Rogers.
Time running out. Karakhanyan has to try to explode somehow out, but again, he's being neutralized, isolated because of what Rogers has on that left leg. The entwining it, keeping him from getting up to a vertical base and turning around and trying to unload everything he has left. Rogers continues to control him on the ground.
It's the size and strength of Sal Rogers. He's able to just create a pressure that is right now Georgi cannot figure his way of how to get out of it, how to get himself back to his feet. It can be very frustrating if you're Georgi, but he hasn't given up, keeps on working hard. Sal Rogers is all over him. Look at that ground control time. 9 minutes and 16 seconds of time that Sal Rogers has been all over Georgi Karakhanyan.
Knee to the rib cage, and now he hooks the right leg of Karakhanyan and just trying to open Karakhanyan up again with strikes. Down to the final 15 seconds of this lightweight contest between insane Georgi Karakhanyan and Saul the Hangman Rogers, and unfortunately the crowd booing the efforts of Rogers and Karakhanyan, and yet I found it to be an entertaining scrap. John and Saul.
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your three judges at cage side. Your first, Michael Bell, scores it 30-27, while judges Sean Dallas Hall and Jaron Vallell both see it the same, 30-26. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, Saul the Hangman Rogers.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with your winner, Sal Rogers. Sal, that was a very tough fight, a very good performance by both of you. Talk to me about you moving up from 145 to 155 pounds. How did it feel?
You know what, it felt amazing. I've been killing myself too long trying to cut down to 145, and now I've moved up, I feel stronger and I feel more dominant. I don't know why these guys were booing to be able to control a guy like Georgi 3 rounds, to be so dominant with someone as tough as him. Like, how can you boo that? Do you know what I'm saying?
I can tell you right now, I didn't boo at all. I thought it was an amazing performance by you. You were wrapping up a guy who's an outstanding grappler on the ground. Let's talk about the second round, though. There was the moment he got the guillotine. It was tight. You got yourself out. And then let's talk about the knees, the flying knee that hit.
You know what? I know he's good at guillotines, but there was none of them guillotines was even close. I wasn't in danger, but the knee, woo! It hit me with one clean. Maybe the second got through, not as clean. And I just tried staying protected, but you seen in the fight, I had a big smile on my face. I love that, you know what I mean?
You did have a big smile. You came out after that second round, and you came out and dominated the third round. How were you feeling at the end of this fight compared to your other fights when you were losing so much weight?
You know what? I feel miles better. In the other fights, after maybe around 2.5 minutes, my arms were gassing, and I had nothing to carry on then. I've controlled him for 3 rounds, and I still feel good to go. Any of these fighters now that are on the cusp and they're still killing themselves, take it from me. Move up, be healthier, be happier, have a longer career. Much better.
I want to tell you, that was an outstanding performance. You look fantastic. Can't wait to see you at the 155.
Yo, I've been away from my missus and my kids for 3 months. So shout out to Brogan, Bo, Xander. I love you. Daddy's coming home.
Sounds good. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Sal the Hangman Rogers.
Let's go to the tail of the tape. Here's BJM.
Our tail of the tape, you got to look at the weight. Like we talked about with Alejandra Lara, 125.2, that's making weight. DeAnna Bennett was weighing herself on her own scale. She thought she was in weight. When she stepped on the official scale, it was off. She's going to have to fix that.
Putting the bitter in a bittersweet night for DeAnna Bennett. Before we begin the proceedings, of course, we need to hear from the man in the middle, Michael C. Williams.
From SAP Center, Bellator MMA features 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. And now live on Showtime, we introduce the blue corner. At 5'4", weighing in 129.2 pounds, her professional record. 10 wins, 7 losses, 1 draw. Fighting out of Oakhurst, New Jersey. She hails from Fremont, California. Introducing DeAnna Vitamin D Bennett. And across the cage, her adversary fighting out of the red corner at 5'7", weighing in 125.2 pounds. The former title challenger enters with 9 professional victories, 4 defeats. From Medellin, Colombia, presenting Alejandra Azul Lara. In charge of the action, your referee, Blake Bryce.
Alejandra Lara, a fan favorite here in Bellator MMA, looking to bounce back.
Are you ready?
Against DeAnna Bennett, hoping to snap a 3-fight losing streak. Lara in the red gloves, Bennett in the blue, and we are underway. Flyweight action. Lara spent camp rediscovering her confidence, lands a straight left down the middle, the southpaw against the orthodox Bennett, and nails her with the right hand. So Lara was telling us she was going to showcase her striking early as Bennett went for the shot. Oh, what a body kick.
The one thing that we know about Alejandra Lara, her stand-up has improved leaps and bounds since she's entered the Bellator cage. She is very smooth in her stand-up, and she has power now. We're going to see how long.
Oh, a head kick by Bennett. And now Bennett, though, took it well and delivered a knee, and Bennett will continue to try to impose her will. She said it's about putting pressure on Lara, and she is doing that, but Lara has had the best of the striking exchanges thus far.
Well, we know that DeAnna Bennett is a very good wrestler, and we know that she's good in the top position. How long is she going to want to stay on the feet with Alejandra Lara?
And as usual, when it comes to members of the distaff part of MMA, no feeling out process, and Lara and Bennett going at it, mano a mano, like a dentist and a carpenter, tooth and nail early.
DeAnna putting a lot of pressure forward. Nice job by DeAnna to get the takedown.
Bennett has 2 rear naked choke submissions, now getting the back of Lara. Lara has been submitted by Alimale McFarland.
That was quite a while ago, but what you're looking at here, you're seeing that Lara is just slowly trying to put pressure on DeAnna Bennett as far as with her legs. She's trying to control that position and actually pull herself out and end up on top. DeAnna doing a very good job with her one hook, holding the position, holding the arm, taking her time, not trying to do anything flashy right now. Just maintain position before you start going for any kind of submission or strike.
Bennett started wrestling at the age of 15, played water polo, and in fact it was because of water polo that she started her MMA career. An assistant coach telling her she should consider that. Flags on Lara.
Beautiful job by DeAnna Bennett to get her second hook in and get the back now completely of Alejandra Lara. She's been laying down a lot of shots. She got the half Nelson there.
Bennett trying to drum up the victory in the most important fight of her life. Here to honor her father, her late father, here in her favorite arena. Trying to offer the dream scenario, going for the victory against Alejandra Lara, and Bennett ground and pound from the back, John.
Still a lot of time left in this round, Moro.
Lara looking for the backdoor escape, but Bennett has her hooks in.
Bennett doing a good job and controlling with her legs. Yeah, that wasn't based upon DeAnna Bennett.
The shots to the head. Back of the head.
Lara turning her head. You cannot expect Bennett to change a punch mid-throw.
Bennett said, and I quote, the Shark Tank, my favorite place on the planet. To be able to fight here is the ultimate dream come true. And now she is continuing to be diligent in her pursuit of the third rear naked choke.
Nice job by Alejandra Lara. Knows I got to turn.
And the scramble hip out by Lara. But she continues to feel the effects of the ground and pound of Bennett. Lara looking to get back up to her feet with less than a minute remaining in the first round.
She's working hard to get to her feet, but all that weight and all that pressure from DeAnna Bennett is keeping her pressed up against the cage, and she's unable to get to her feet. A lot of weight, but now she's on her feet.
Bennett with a huge edge in the striking department. 30 seconds left in the opening frame. DeAnna Bennett in the blue gloves looking to snap a 3-fight losing streak. Lara looking to bounce back from just another loss, but a hotly contested one against Kana Watanabe. So both of them desperate to get back on the winning track, and Lara in desperately trying to bring the fight to Bennett. What a round.
This is when DeAnna Bennett was able to look at the way she moves that leg into the hook. Comes out, heavy hip pressure, flattens her out, starts opening up. A lot of shots landed by DeAnna Bennett. in this round, all unanswered.
The bell and round 2. Lara in the southpaw stance. Bennett fighting orthodox. Lara, nice counter jab by Bennett as Lara went for the low kick. Oh, nice overhand left there by Bennett.
Right now, Bennett's movement is giving Alejandra Lara a little bit of trouble. She wants to be in the southpaw position, but she's losing that foot position on the outside.
And in Bennett's corner after the opening round, Brian Wright, her head coach, said that Lara had no balance, and Bennett was able to take advantage of that. Do you agree with that assessment as Lara backs up following this barrage from Bennett?
Well, she had no balance at a certain point when she was getting up off the ground. Nice shot.
Solid right and left by Bennett, and Lara ate it.
But right now, you're taking a look. Look at the movement of Bennett. What she's doing that is very just beautiful in the way she's doing it. Look at her footwork as far as she keeps changing the angle on Lara, and Lara is unable to set her feet and feel comfortable in throwing. Right now, that is keeping Lara in a position where just the movement itself is stopping the offensive production of Alejandra Lara.
Bennett has thrown 109 strikes compared to just 39 for Lara. Both of them at near 50% connect rate, which is always a good night at the office. If you can maintain that, John.
If you can maintain it, but right now, look, DeAnna Bennett looks good. She doesn't look tired at all. She had a lot of output in that first round. Doesn't look like it's a failure at all.
Hook kick there, attempt by Lara, and of course people will say, well, Bennett didn't make weight, maybe feels a little fresher because of it.
You know what? That is the problem with a fighter not making weight.
Wow.
Alejandra Lara went through all of the struggles to get to that 125-pound limit. 125.2 is what she weighed in at. DeAnna Bennett didn't get to that same thing.
Nice left hand behind the guard of Lara, connects again for Bennett, who is known for this kind of attack. It's inexorable. It's relentless. And Bennett continues to walk forward and continues to score with her strikes.
But one of the things that it's been the story of the night, the jab.
And the level change, and you're right, the power jab, and Lara able to defend the takedown thus far.
We're doing a nice job changing the position.
And Bennett did say she wants to put the pressure on Lara and put her on the ground, but she's getting the best of the striking exchanges.
Right now, you're absolutely right. She's getting the best of the striking, so that's one of the reasons right there. She was willing to break off from that clinch and go back to doing what she's done so well in the stand-up.
Good footwork by Bennett. Again, naked shot that Lara was able to time and defend. Telegraph that takedown, elbows on the break by Lara. Still no anxiety on Lara's part, still remaining focused, committed to a game plan, using the kicks, but she has to be careful if Bennett talked about taking her down.
Well, right now, DeAnna Bennett's in a position she's really not worried about Lara shooting the takedown on her, so that's giving her free movement in the stand-up.
Sorry, I meant because of the kicks of Lara, she could set herself up to be taken down by Bennett, where Bennett said she wanted to take the fight.
Absolutely.
Oh, spinning wheel kick by Lara, trying to come up with a dramatic momentum shift.
Nice heavy shot, right hand by DeAnna Bennett. You saw Alejandra Lara trying to land the elbow.
Bennett is comprehensively outstriking Lara, setting up, resetting, coming in with angles. Lara attempting to use kicks. Bennett moving forward and lands a left hand as they disengage. Under 30 seconds left here in the middle round.
Yeah, take a look right now. I'm not sure about, you're seeing the switch of stance by Alejandra Lara.
Man, Lara, as we saw the strike totals, trying kicks, and now the clinch, and Bennett getting the better of it here, backing Lara up to the fence, and almost landed an elbow at the bell.
Now, take a look right here. Nice kick, beautiful right hand by Lara, upset the balance of DeAnna Bennett, but it was overall DeAnna Bennett landing the cleaner shots, but a nice left hand right there by Alejandra Lara.
Seconds out.
Bennett landing a clean right hand, but that jab, the left hand of Bennett, has found its mark multiple times.
Which against a southpaw, not usually the case.
No, it's not. Normally it's you're setting off with that right hand down, the straight right hand down the middle.
Round 3, you ready?
Third and final round, Alejandra Lara has to dig down deep. DeAnna Bennett has kept, obviously, her emotions in check. She's had a great game plan thus far. Nice counter left by Lara as Bennett went upstairs with a kick.
Really crisp, straight left hand right down the pipe by Alejandra Lara, but she's got to do something in this round, in my opinion. I think she's behind in this fight, 2 rounds.
Lara began training karate at the age of 4. Made her pro MMA debut in December of 2011. And for DeAnna Bennett, she fought for the first time in February 2012. 2 veterans now of the sport. Bennett, veteran of Invicta FC, the all-women MMA department, as Lara trying to put together combinations, but Bennett went over the top with the left hand, John.
Bennett keeps on bringing that pressure forward. Now Lara has gotten into more of a waiting on it and countering her.
Can she wait with 3:45 left in a fight that you think she's losing?
I think she's losing this cleanly. So it's a matter of, in my opinion, she's got to finish DeAnna Bennett to get a win here tonight.
Bennett comes forward, bull rushes her, backs Lara up with the left hand, and again, it's all Bennett in terms of footwork. Well, Lara now trying to find an angle, trying to disrupt the rhythm, trying to get entry where she can do some damage on Bennett and in a hurry, because 3:15 are now left in this fight, and it's been a high-octane affair. Nice right hand that caught the jaw of Lara.
You can see Lara each time trying to counter. Going straight back is never going to work for you.
Unless you're Chuck Liddell.
Right now, DeAnna Bennett with the underhooks. You see
looking
Lara
for
with
that guillotine. And then the elbow strike. Wow. And beautiful sequence. Nice mixing up of your offense.
Exactly. And you're looking at it on the exit, making her pay for something. Take a look at right now what we've got. You've got a huge difference in what has been landed between these two, and you can see the effects of it in the fight.
212 strikes by Bennett. She is emptying her tank. Again, honoring her dad. And wow, so far, other than the missing weight, which is a big deal, of course, but she couldn't ask for a better performance, John, in this. A fight at the Shark Tank, where she has watched many fighting events and many San Jose Sharks games, looking to shoot and score against Lara.
Look, DeAnna Bennett's got a win over Juliana Payton.
Oh, nice left hand by Lara. Go ahead,
She's a huge win against a very good fighter, but this right now could be the highlight of her career, getting a win against Alejandra Lara here tonight in this building.
Looking to author her magnum opus on the most important night of her career. Her words. Oh, Lara catches the kick. And now Bennett from the ground again. Bennett has 2 submission wins. Lara has 3 submission victories, but Lara has to show a lot more intent and energy here, John. I know we're down to the final minute of what has been a fast-paced fight.
Yeah, but so easy to say, but after been in this fight for now almost 14 minutes.
Wow.
There's not a lot of energy left with Alejandra Lara.
And especially because she's been on the receiving end of a wide variety of strikes, including these up kicks.
Exactly.
Oh, and she got caught again, and she went with the left hand. Perfectly timed up kick by DeAnna Bennett. Smile on her face.
She's out there enjoying her work. She wanted her corner to go, did you see what just happened?
Amazing.
An outstanding performance overall by DeAnna Bennett. Came in here, the underdog in the fight, knew that this was her opportunity to make something happen in her career.
Whatever you believe in, her father, Mark, whose final words to her before passing away due to brain tumors was fight, and Bennett put on the fight of her life tonight. The fleeting moments of joy.
Straight punches, very smart. That drives Alejandra Lara straight back. She gets into the clinch. And then this was the point. Lara decides to jump in. Boom, straight up off the throat. She gets the worst of that exchange right there. That's not what you want to have happen when you're the...
Ladies and gentlemen, for the decision, we'll go to your 3 judges at cage side. Your first judge, Jaron Villel, scores the fight 30-27, while judges Ron McCarthy and Wade Vera both see it exactly the same at 30-26. I'll have it for the winner by unanimous decision, DeAnna Vitamin D Bennett.
Letting DeAnna Vitamin D Bennett soak up this incredible moment, and the D in Vitamin D turns out to be dominant as she records the biggest win of her career, and she's standing by with Big John McCarthy.
DeAnna Bennett, first thing I want to say is congratulations. I know that this was a huge fight for you in this building. Talk to me about what you're feeling.
See, you told me if I was going to cry walking out, but now I'm going to cry right now, and it's ugly. It's ugly cry right now. Oh, I can't describe to you how I'm feeling right now. Where's my dad's badge? This place means everything to me. I'm born and raised in the Bay Area, the SAP Center. This is my place. I love it here, and I love the Bay Area. And I'm so glad to be here, fighting in this cage for Bellator with all of these fans here. And I just can't describe it. I know my dad, he's with me here. He always knew I was gonna fight here. I didn't, because I'm a little shit sometimes. But he always knew I was gonna fight here. And to get my hand raised in this building, I had the ugly cry. So I'm sorry.
You put on an incredible performance. In the first round, you got her back, you flattened her out, you hit her with a ton of shots. Did you think you were possibly gonna end the fight in that first round?
I wanted that first round finish so bad. But, you know, Alejandra, she's so tough, and, you know, you can't have a good fight with just one person. Both fighters have to be great fighters to put on a good show. So half of this victory belongs to her for coming to the cage, being an opponent, and willing to put everything out there, just like I did. And I wanted that finish so bad, but we'll have to wait till next time for that. I'm just going to have to, well, there's a few things I need to fine tune, but man, I can't wait. And I'm really sorry you're not Laura Senko, but I'm going to pet your hair.
One thing here, your stand-up, you've always been known as the wrestler. You've always been known for having a good ground game. And it was always your stand-up that people thought that they could exploit and get a win against you. Talk about your improvement in the stand-up and how comfortable you felt out there tonight.
Honestly, I felt better in the stand-up than I did on the ground. That's why I got first round, you know, got to the ground, and that's like my bread and butter. But honestly, a lot of that has been working with my coach here, Brian Wright, and my team at Killer Bee. I owe this resurgence of my career to him because he's really helped me, you know, become the fighter, become well-rounded. I've had coaches in the past who are like, oh, if you don't get a takedown, you're never going to win a fight. Well, boom. Looks like I just won a fight, so.
Boom, let me tell you right now, congratulations to you. I know your dad is watching. He is super proud of you. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Vitamin D, DeAnna Bennett.
Let's take a look at the numbers that matter, John.
Look at the numbers that matter here. Tail of tape on this welterweight matchup, 10-2 for Neiman Gracie. A lot of people don't believe he lost his last fight. It was controversial, but 12-3 for Mark Lemminger. This is a matchup of styles that are absolutely meant to be in the cage together. This should be outstanding.
Gracie looking to bounce back. Mark Lemminger looking to crash the top 10. Here's Michael C. Williams.
Bellator MMA Live on Showtime Now presents tonight's co-main event, 3 5-minute rounds in the welterweight division. Introducing the blue corner, at 6 foot, weighing in 169.9 pounds. His professional record, 12 wins, just 3 losses. By way of Johnson Creek, he fights out of Madison, Wisconsin, Mark Lemminger. And across the cage, his adversary tonight out of the red corner, at 6 foot, weighing in 170.6 pounds. The former Bellator title challenger brings 10 professional victories, only 2 defeats, fighting out of Newport Beach, California, by way of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, presenting Neiman Gracie. And the referee in charge, Jason Herzog.
Neiman Gracie says if his cousin Renzo Gracie isn't in the building, he's not fighting. That's how important Renzo's been to his career. Mark Lemminger says he's going to keep it standing and beat Gracie on the feet. Bell in round 1. It begins on the feet, of course. Gracie in the red gloves, Lemminger in the blue. And it's going to be interesting to see what wrinkles in the striking that Gracie shows. And he just landed the first strike of the fight, a jab.
We already seen that Neiman Gracie's stand-up has gotten progressively better throughout his Bellator career, to the point where he is very comfortable on his feet. Now that he's with Rafael Cordero, that is a place where he can just expand on his style and what he does well.
And he's coming out aggressively in the stand-up. Both of them are.
This is because he's comfortable here. He is not the typical Gracie that a lot of people get used to, where they're looking for just the takedown, and that's the only thing that they're looking for throughout the fight. He will stand on his feet and bang.
I thought Crosley Gracie would have the potential to become the best striker in the Gracie family, but his MMA tenure was short-lived. Coming up on a minute gone here in the first frame, and it's Gracie having Lemminger against the fence in the clinch.
And one of the things that's different about Gracie when he gets into the clinch, he likes the clinch like a Greco-Roman wrestler. I've always said that the guys with Greco-Roman wrestling backgrounds are the toughest.
Right uppercut, that's back on the knee of Lemminger, and Neiman Gracie lighting up Lemminger with these rights. The right hand, Neiman Gracie with the super striking. Gracie and Renzo in their corner celebrating. Forget submissions. Gracie is now a menace in the striking department. Full value for the victory. That striking was superb.
This is what I was talking about. When you have that comfort level, when you believe that you have reached a certain point where, hey, I'm not worried about having to dive for takedowns. I can stand up and I can bang and I have power. Neiman Gracie just proved what kind of power he has.
Mixed martial arts. Rafael Cordero has done it again, and Renzo Gracie and the rest of Gracie's team now moving to 11-2, erasing the loss to Jason Jackson. He wants to run it back against Double J, and he just ran over Mark Lemminger. Elbow strike to begin, John.
That was a good elbow that landed, but Mark ate it well. But then he got hit behind the ear, but watch the big uppercut. The uppercut is what starts to change this fight. That is a devastating shot. You see it actually takes his legs away. It is the cage that keeps him up at that point. He's putting his hands up like he's in a schoolyard fight where he doesn't know where he's at, what he's doing. Then he gets it back, he fights back, and you see him start to go out on his feet.
Man, those strikes were staples.
There's the elbow strike. Big shots landed. He's not fighting back. That is a good stoppage by Jason Herzog.
Yeah, I know.
The third time that Lemminger has been stopped due to strikes. And while Gracie didn't equal the Bellator MMA record for submissions, he records the first knockout victory of his career.
Ladies and gentlemen, inside the Bellator cage, it comes to an end. 1 minute, 27 seconds into round number 1 by TKO Neiman Gracie.
The evolution is complete. Neiman Gracie showing respect. And, well, I know Big John McCarthy's going to show him plenty of respect.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with your winner, Neiman Gracie. Neiman, your coach, Rafael Cordero, was bragging about you to me just the other day about, oh, you should see his striking. I said, hey, his striking was already good. He goes, it's even better. Talk to me about what you're feeling like on your feet in this cage.
I don't need to take people down to win fights anymore. I can do it all. But if I take you down, oh boy.
Talk to me about the uppercut and the way you saw the opening to throw that uppercut. That's what started the downfall for Mark in this fight.
I saw he was putting his head down, so I come up with the uppercut. I have one thing to say. If you keep the fight standing, it's hospital. If you go to the floor, it's cemetery.
That sounds very similar to a guy that used to throw kicks by the name of Krokop. Who is it that you believe you should be matched up with next in this cage?
There is a couple guys that I want to fight. I want to fight MVP. I've been calling this guy out forever, and the fight never happens. He always have an excuse. I want my rematch with Jason Jackson. I won that fight last time, and I got robbed. And I want Mr. Yaroslav Yamosov. I have the worst game for him, and I believe I'll be the one to give him his first loss.
Well, any of those fights would be fantastic to see. Congratulations on a big win. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Neiman Gracie.
I've already been to the top. I've already had the belt. And my road back starts with Yoel Romero.
Are you ready for this? Because I am ready for this. I talking you, Phil. I never been bigger, faster, and stronger. Showtime!
When I'm done with Yoel Romero, the rest of the division is going to be on notice.
Mr. Wonderful, Bill Davis!
This is going to be wonderful. You wait and see.
Mr. Wonderful, we not have wonderful night. Believe me.
Sorry, Yoel. I'm going to have to ruin your Bellator debut.
Look out, Bellator. So there's God. Is here. Right here.
Tonight's main event is the Soldier of God versus Mr. Wonderful.
See you soon, boy.
Man, strength and, well, 44. Hey, maybe the new 30 as Romero gets ready to face Davis here tonight. Let's go to the numbers, John.
Go to the numbers. Look at that 78-inch reach compared to 72 and a half. Yoel Romero is a guy who always is able to step inside. We'll see if Phil Davis can use that reach to keep him on the outside.
The wait is over with the official introductions for the Bellator 266 main event. Here is Michael C. Williams.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bellator MMA live on Showtime from SAP Center here in San Jose, California. The time has come for the main event of the evening. 3 5-minute rounds in the light heavyweight division. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, Commissioner John Carvelli, Chair, Executive Officer Andy Foster. And now, first introducing the blue corner. At 6 foot, weighing in 205.4 pounds tonight. In his Bellator debut, he enters with 13 professional victories, 5 defeats, 11 of those wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Miami, Florida, he hails from Pinar del Rio, Cuba. Introducing Yoel, Soldier of God, Romero. And across the cage, his adversary fighting out of the red corner. At 6'2", weighing in 206 pounds, the former Bellator light heavyweight world champion as a professional stands at 22-6, and he too with 11 finishes to his credit, 6 by knockout, 5 by submission. By way of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, he fights out of San Diego, California, Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis. In charge, your referee, Mike Beltran.
All right, gentlemen, been over the rules already. Protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times. Touch gloves now if you want. At the sound of the bell, come on out. Handle your business. Let's go.
Phil Davis's record 13th fight in Bellator MMA light heavyweight history. Yoel Romero at the age of 44. How much horsepower does this Alpha Romero have left? It's the main event.
Right, gentlemen, first round. You ready to fight? You ready to fight? Handle, let's go.
Bell in round 1, the former light heavyweight champion Davis in the red gloves. Yoel Romero in his first fight here in Bellator MMA, returning to the 205 division in the blue gloves.
One of those unanswered questions is which Yoel Romero are we going to see? Are we going to see the guy that comes out and is explosive like he was against Paulo Costa, or the guy that just waits like the guy that fought Israel Adesanya?
Of course, with so much at stake, a potential opportunity to become next in line following the Grand Prix. Semifinals, October 16th in Phoenix, Arizona, and of course, with Romero, known for those explosive bursts. And for Phil Davis, so many tools, so much talent, so much experience. And yet he said he needs something to motivate him. Yoel Romero motivates him, and he promises to be more aggressive. In fact, he said that this could be a one-round fight. I don't know if he was serious.
This could be a one-round fight, but you're seeing right now, Phil Davis, look where his right hand's at. He's very calculated in his stand-up. That right hand is right up by his chin, protecting him. Good defense there. He knows that Yoel's got a very powerful left hand. He's cautious. That's called being smart. Take your time and feel things out.
And Romero, well, he is known for bringing his vaunted power into the third and final rounds many times, into the late portions of fights.
Yoel is known to start slow. That has been part of him throughout his career. And then as things happen, where his big knockouts come, is usually in the third round.
His last fight stayed slow.
It stayed slow the whole time.
Inside calf kick scored by Romero, the southpaw, now back to orthodox. Davis checked that kick.
Davis being very cautious right now, just throwing sometimes 1-2, because he knows how explosive Yoel can be. He doesn't want to fall in any trap.
Number 3 ranked Phil Davis, who again has faced the current champion Vadim Nemkov twice, including challenging for the title in the Grand Prix in his last fight. And for Romero, 44, year and a half on the sidelines, moving up to a way more comfortable weight of 205.
You know, we talk all the time about people moving up in weight, the 205 for Romero. Look, no one's going to be any stronger than he is. No one's going to be any faster than he is at this weight. At 185, he was fast. He's going to be really fast in the 205 division when he explodes. So it's a great weight for him.
And he had issues making weight at 185, and again at this stage of his career. And you know he's all about challenges. A new lease on his MMA life here, and jumps right into a loaded light heavyweight division as they try to collect that data, try to figure each other out, and Romero
just almost right there.
Under a minute left in the first. Davis goes downstairs. He's known for his kicks, and they exchange kicks, and Davis doing a good job of checking some of those
Very
kicks.
nice check on that kick. That did not feel good for Yoel. A lot of different looks Yoel's giving him different angles, different stances. But Yoel is not really being offensive. He's not throwing a lot right now. He's letting this round get away just on the fact that Phil Davis has landed better kicks and a little bit more volume with his hands.
Davis fighting out of Azteca San Diego Boxing Club and 10th Planet Jiu-Jitsu. Romero representing American top team as we go to round 2.
Papi, te está terminando con derecha todo el tiempo. Te está terminando con derecha cerrada.
See? Go high with it. All right? The rhythm there, the push-pull that's happening there, don't fall into his rhythm. Keep moving your feet, keep moving your shoulders, start building from there. You're falling in his rhythm and you're slowing down your game just a little bit. Don't let your game slow down. Stay on your own rhythm, move your feet, move your shoulders, and let it go, let it go. Just let it go. You're fast. You're fast. Hit there. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir. You're fast enough. It's there. You just got to let it go. We'll get it. Just
Big John McCarthy, how do you have it on your unofficial scorecard after one round?
Unofficially, I've got Phil Davis taking that first round 10-9. Just not enough output in any fashion from Yoel Romero. You're taking a look. He hardly threw anything as far as what was landed. Not a whole lot by either guy, but at least the leg kicks that Phil Davis was throwing landed, and a lot of them were checked by Phil Davis when Yoel Romero was throwing it.
Bell in round 2. Romero landed 12 of 24 strikes in the first frame. Davis landed 9 of 45. And in the kicking department, Davis a perfect 6 for 6, while Romero went 9 for 14 in that first frame. And
someone on that thing does not understand when a kick gets checked, you don't give it credit.
Hey, I'm just reporting the numbers. Numbers don't lie, John.
Yeah, guess what?
Oh, 1-2. Executed by Davis, and the counter left by Romero.
Very nice body shot by Phil Davis, going to the body with the left hand. You've seen Yoel Romero, very high guard.
Romero swinging wildly.
Very high guard, that's opening up his body. Phil is seeing it, that's why he's sometimes going there.
Romero, a former Olympic silver medalist in wrestling. Davis, a former NCAA Division I national wrestling champion. And of course, it's an MMA cliche. 2 credentialed wrestlers are throwing down. And well, a cue. Romero stuffing the takedown attempt by Davis.
He stuffed that easily, too.
Davis missing Taking himself off balance with that sweeping left hook, but then going to the textbook 1-2, splitting the guard of Romero. Romero, high guard like you mentioned, John, not returning fire.
Yeah. One thing you'd want to see out of Romero right now is when Phil starts to come in and he's landing those shots, stepping in. You got to counter that, make him pay.
There's a 1-2 in the right cross, lands for Davis.
Phil Davis needs to start stepping that up from a 1-2 into a 1-2-3 and then 4.
Romero trying to defend like big George Foreman. And it's Davis, though, with the footwork, putting the pressure on Romero before Romero comes forward, pushing that left hand into the face of Davis. A lot of feinting by Romero, not a lot of offense. And when he does throw offense, wild and off balance.
Yeah, a little bit off balance there, trying to land with some power.
You don't say. Romero trying to land with power, my man.
Romero does such a good job, though, defensively of just rolling and moving his shoulders, letting the shots, they'll touch him, but he's taking the steam off of the shot with that roll.
Can't get that. Davis almost off his feet, but you're right. Hit the target. And now Davis on the back foot, backing up and then coming forward with a three-punch combination, but doesn't score. There's an inside low kick by Romero, but then Davis lands a 1-2, and then the body kick, and that right cross definitely caught the attention of Romero.
Romero can give him the faces, but those shots landed, and they landed with power.
And Romero, as we mentioned, knocked out just once, stopped once in his career, and it came at 205. While Davis, he has never been knocked out or submitted. As durable as they come in the sport of MMA.
Both of these guys are so durable. Out of all the fights between the two, only one stoppage.
Pace beginning to pick up with 60 seconds left in the second round. Jab to the midsection by Davis.
Got an NC2A champion wrestler, an Olympic silver medalist, and we've had one takedown attempt.
As I mentioned, it's a cliche, right? When two credentialed wrestlers meet, expect a striking battle.
That's it.
Romero starting to loosen up, both of them sweating as they exchange fire. Center of the cage, less than 30 seconds remaining. And Davis gets the takedown on Romero.
That's what I'm talking about.
Talk about the differences in wrestling between the Olympic silver medalist and the NCAA national champion.
A lot of people are going to say that, Yoel Romero, he's an Olympic silver, he's a better wrestler, he's got better credentials. But the style of wrestling is different. Freestyle wrestling that Yoel Romero is used to compared to folk style and top game that Phil Davis is so good.
And he ends the round in top position, so a confidence booster for Davis, taking Romero off his feet with the takedown.
This was really, this round was a tale of two different halves. Romero landed some good things in the beginning. Nice right hand right there. He caught Phil Davis. Romero also comes in, nice left hand straight down the middle right there. That pushes Phil back, and then Phil Davis, halfway through the round, really started changing it up and lighting Romero up with some clean shots right there.
And yet good defense by Romero, too, in that sequence.
Good defense, but then he did get caught, if you remember. And then this big takedown right at the end.
And set it up with the strikes.
That's exactly right. That's the difference. You don't have to be the better wrestler in MMA to be the guy that can get the takedown.
MMA wrestling, different thing. George St. Pierre mastered that aspect of his legendary career as we get set for the third and final round of this light heavyweight main event here in San Jose.
All right, gentlemen, third and final round. Ready to fight? Ready to fight? Hell, let's go.
Round number 3. And it definitely appears that the engines are revving up. Much better pace in that second round. Big John McCarthy has Davis ahead, 2 rounds to 0. So For Yoel Romero, at least according to BJM, he's going to have to deliver one of those third-round knockouts that he's known for, or finish submission if he wants.
Well, we've seen him do it many times, so it's not something that is foreign to him. He can definitely do that. But he's a big close rounds, but little differences are saying to me, Phil Davis is the guy that's winning the round.
And you know, Romero's never scored a submission. Davis has never been finished. Intriguing final 4:15 here at the Shark Tank.
See, this is the Romero you want to see in the first round, though.
And Davis gets another takedown, almost moves right to mount, and now has Romero's back. Romero has never been submitted in the scramble. Romero feeling the heat from Davis. Third takedown of the fight.
And he's got him up with his back on that cage. Nice knee to the body by Phil.
So wrestling does play a factor thus far for Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis, who told us at the fighter meeting that he would go to his wrestling. And he is doing it here in the third and final round, muting the fearsome offense of Yoel Romero.
Beautiful job by Phil Davis in showing fight IQ and, hey, I can take you down and I can keep you down where you can't hurt me. This is a great opportunity for Phil Davis right here to just put some good shots on Yoel Romero.
The Shark Tank has been the friendly confines for Phil Davis. He is 4-0 in this building and now attempting to go a perfect 5-0, looking to spoil the debut of Yoel Romero.
Phil Davis on the ground. He's got a beautiful setup for his Kimura. He's got a great setup as far as an arm triangle and anaconda choke. He's got really solid submissions.
Oh, he's got amazing submission skills.
Nice elbow by Phil. Quick, sharp, slicing elbow.
Phil Davis has fought the best of the best. He's been to the top of the mountain here in Bellator MMA. His record, 13th fight for the promotion and light heavyweight. Good reversal by Romero, getting back to his feet where he hopes to deliver high drum on the final 2 minutes.
Outstanding use of the underhook to get himself back to his feet by Yoel.
Rebel change by Davis, but this time Romero able to thwart it.
He's trying to get his hands together. He finally does, and here comes your takedown.
Take me down to takedown city.
Phil Davis has never had this many takedowns in his last 3 fights combined.
Amazing. And he mentioned it. He talked about it. There's been frustration in the fans of Phil Davis that he hasn't utilized his great wrestling that often, and you would think again against a guy like an Olympic silver medalist, but a 44-year-old former silver medalist, and Phil Davis continues to treat Yoel Romero like a newborn baby treats a diaper, John.
Right now, he's utilizing a skill set that he's had for so long, and he's doing a great job of taking Yoel sometimes.
Nasty knee strikes to the ribs.
Working himself to his feet, but then getting dropped back down. Nice ribs, just keep on hitting with the knees. A nice attack by Phil Davis.
Phil Davis was in a state of limbo heading into this fight, standing between gatekeeper status and, of course, a man who's defeated him twice, the champion, Vadim Nemkov. Phil Davis has put together a successful game plan. Romero desperate to try to create separation, desperate to detonate a Cuban missile, but Davis is giving him no space whatsoever in order to operate.
Hard to get a big knockout when you have no space between you. Yoel Romero in a position right now. He's got to try to separate. No time left.
Phil Davis, Mr. Wonderful, has to feel wonderful about his performance in tonight's main event. All the talk was about the debut of Yoel Romero, and yet Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis, In the words of Roy Jones Jr., you all must have forgot because, man, he put together a tremendous performance. What did you think of his game plan and the way he executed it tonight?
I thought his game plan was really solid. He came out very cautious, had a high guard for the defense of the big left hand that Yoel possesses. Did all the right things and just built upon each round.
And now you know, especially on Twitterverse, one of the reasons why I'm not a part of social media, but people are going to say, what'd you expect? You expected that against a guy who hasn't fought for a year and a half and who's now 44 years old. Don't take away from what Phil Davis did here tonight.
Oh, look at Phil Davis just beat Yoel Romero in a fashion that proves how good he is. I've said it before. Look at before this fight, everyone was saying Yoel Romero was the favorite. I said no. I think Phil Davis is, and this is why. He wrestles so well in the folk styles of being in the top position. The way he was able to ride on top of Yoel, that was a difference maker in that last round. He fought a very smart and effective fight throughout.
We think the decision is academic. We also know that this is mixed martial arts. Let's go to the fight stats, John. And hey, I know that sometimes you feel the numbers lie in terms of these stats. What do you make of this?
No, this is close to accurate. When I'm looking at them saying that, oh, the kicks, look, when a kick is checked, that's not a kick that landed. But 59 strikes.
And look at this number.
And that's the,
wow.
Look at the bottom. 5 takedowns to 0. Before this fight, nobody would have said that that was the way it was going to be.
In the words of the loonies from the Bay Area, Phil Davis had 5 on it when it came to takedowns, perhaps the most surprising stat against Yoel Romero.
Ladies and gentlemen, having gone the distance, we'll go to your 3 judges. Your first judge at cage side, Ron McCarthy, scores the fight 30-27. He sees it for Davis. Your second judge, Jaron Vallel, scores the fight 29-28, scoring it for Romero. Your third and final judge at cage side, Michael Bell, scores the fight 30-26 for the winner by split decision, Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis.
Even Yoel Romero knows that the decision should have been academic.
Wait, you're a monster.
Great respect between these two warriors, but I told John McCarthy, the decision should be academic, but this is MMA. One judge giving it to Yoel Romero. Hey, the night belongs to Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis. A perfect 5-0 here at the Shark Tank. Let's go to BJM.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here with the winner, Phil Davis. Phil, that was a beautiful performance. You kept building on each round. There was no way that that was a split decision. That was an easy win, unanimous decision for you. How are you feeling going against a guy with the power of Yoel, the style? How are you feeling right now?
Man, he's a monster. I felt that power more times than I wished I had tonight. He's an incredibly powerful fighter.
When you talk, one of the things that you were doing very well, I thought, is he started hitting you with leg kicks, but then you started checking him, and he actually slowed down. Could you feel that when you were out there?
Yeah, I felt that, and it didn't quite give me enough security. You know, I felt like he was in the end of the second round, he was just starting to slow down just a tad bit. So I felt that's kind of what I felt, not necessarily the checks, but.
All right, I gotta tell you, I'm always talking to you about wrestling, and you have this wrestling ability. Phil, are you gonna wrestle? You told me, John, I'm gonna wrestle, I promise. Let's talk about the third round, because you took him down 5 times in that fight.
Whew. Yeah, gotta use the wrestling. God bless wrestling, best sport in the world. And you know what, John, I got something that I want to share with you. 6 years ago, I was making my Bellator debut right here in San Jose. And I absolutely forgot. It's one of my biggest mistakes ever. I forgot to encourage one of my best friends, training partners, roommates, teammates at Penn State. He was in the hospital with cancer, and I forgot to encourage him. He ended up losing his battle with cancer. Now, I want to rectify that moment by just saying that my mom and dad are tremendous. They are everything that I wish the mom and dad could be, and they're just wonderful. Last September, 2 weeks before my fight with Lyoto Machida, my mom calls me and tells me she has malignant breast cancer. So She had to go and get that taken care of. Exactly 3 days later, my father told me he had aggressive prostate cancer. And then 2 weeks later, I had to fight the dragon. And I really had to dig deep in a number of ways. And I just want to say to my mom and dad, they're still, by God's grace, they are still here. My mother's in the crowd. My father's at home staring at the TV crying. I love you guys, and I cannot do this without you. You guys are amazing.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for Phil Davis.
Wait a second, ladies and gentlemen. One more thing. It's always been my honor, my pleasure to leave a party before the lights come on. You know what I'm saying? And I just want to take this moment to thank everybody that works for Bellator, Scott Coker, everyone that makes this traveling circus happen. I absolutely love you guys. I love fighting for you guys. Thank my sponsors. If you've never been through a pandemic, which I suspect all of you have, if you're an athlete, it's incredibly hard if you don't have sponsors. You don't have any money coming in. Very difficult time. So I want to thank all my sponsors. I love you guys. I couldn't have made it without you. Last but not least, my beautiful wife, I love you. And I thank you for always supporting me and chasing my hopes and dreams. And to my two boys at home, PJ and Teddy, I told you I was going to rock it like rocket fuel. What's up?
Ladies and gentlemen who are on your feet, give it up for Mr. Wonderful, Phil Davis.